Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome. Guys, I'm getting stuff ready. Shout out to Sylvia, who's on her way to court, too. Our supporter, Sylvia, is on her way to court. So, of course, she's going to keep us updated. I have to tell you guys something that Sylvia told me today. No, yesterday. I'm so, y'all, I'm so tired still from just the news and stuff like that, all the new details that are coming about. But Becky should also be on her way. So, give me 1 second, guys. Yes, everybody. Shout out to everybody. So let me make sure I let the people from the Discord know that we are live. Baby Bunny, the sitter, should be here. She'll be in and out. Okay, just so people are aware. So I got you guys on my headphones. Everyone, we live now. Letting the people know that we're live. Shout out to everybody, guys. Thank you so much for being here. So I have been getting a lot of messages from people regarding TMZ. The people are mad at TMZ. I don't know what's going on. So I don't know. We're going to watch a little bit of it while we wait for the court. So give me 1 second while I set up. Because apparently it's pretty bad what they're saying.
The DA is absolutely taking issue with something you said on our podcast. You said that the LAPD essentially went rogue and decided to arrest David Thursday late afternoon because the DA wasn't taking action and that it would force the DA's hand to do something. The DA's office told us as recently as this morning on the record that everything the DA and LAPD did was in lockstep and that this was coordinated. To that, you say what?
I call BS on that, by the way, because the fact, if it was coordinated and if they were going to bring a special circumstance, no bail, 3 different special circumstances charge, they would have filed a criminal complaint or they would have gotten an indictment. There's gamesmanship happening here, and you will continue to see gamesmanship, because I'm going to make another bold prediction. They did not expect the defense to fail to waive time, meaning normally what they would have expected in the DA's office is they dump terabytes of information on the defense. The defense says, Your Honor, we don't have time to digest all of this. We need more time. We're going to waive our right to a speedy preliminary hearing. They didn't do that. The defense did. They actually made the next chess move and said, we're not waiving time. We want our speedy preliminary hearing, which pushes back on the DA, who's now going to have to call an audible and try to go to the so-called investigative grand jury, which I...
Well, let's pump our brakes a little bit. TMZ has been saying a lot about the DA. Remember, they're saying about the relationship. The girls are fighting. He was literally, while the investigation was going on, TMZ was saying a lot of things. Okay, let's keep it 1,000. Okay, they were saying many things. They said that they don't get along. There's this and that, and that could very well be the case. Maybe they have some insiders. I truly do believe that there might have been some back and forth. Who knows, right? But they had to switch that up fairly quickly, right? Because all eyes are on them. But, the DA, I don't know. I mean, TMZ has been like pointed on as far as like the things that they were spreading. There's a lot of things that, other things that I wonder about TMZ, like the waterlog situation. We reviewed the entire medical examiner's report yesterday, guys. And don't forget, the waterlog narrative was there, but the frozen narrative was not there. Okay. Just so people are aware. And shout out to First Liberty's podcast, who was on yesterday with us, and Flojo. If First Liberty stops by, let me know so I can drop the link for him as well. Because I'm kind of curious to know what his thoughts are about these little nuances here. Shout out to everybody. You said TMZ be so extra. Yeah, they do. But I mean, let me say this, okay, for the record. We can't just shit on TMZ because there is some things that they did get accurate. As much as y'all know I'm not a fan, okay? But the news broke through TMZ, okay, about Celeste, right? Did that not happen? Can we acknowledge the fact that they did put out there that her body was identified, that they talked to her mom? We knew about the tattooing because of that conversation. Had we not known, this would have been a whole different we just, how did they identify her? And I don't know if TMZ assisted in that per se, which then made me wonder, right? Because mom was the one who talked about the tattoo. It does make me wonder if somebody from TMZ is going to testify as well. First, everybody says, we talked about this yesterday. The DA would have loved to have dumped 40 terabytes of strong evidence on this guy. However, it's still very early and plenty of time for things to change. Okay. Shout out to First Liberties. Now, First Liberties, I'm going to drop the link for you if you want to come up whenever, if you want to, completely up to you. Shout out to First Liberties again. Let me keep playing.
Find to be hilarious, and they will go get an indictment because they're not going to put witnesses on in a case where 2 months, you guys may remember this, 2 months after her discovery of her body, LAPD was saying, we're not even sure a crime was committed. So understand everything that has happened here. This was LAPD after they received information that when they went outside of the ME's office, medical examiner's office, they then forced the DA to file this case. The idea that after 7 or 8 months of an investigation where you put witnesses in front of a grand jury, and then all of a sudden you're going to arrest somebody on a Thursday afternoon, knowing that under these peculiar LA County rules, you don't have to take somebody in front of a judge until Monday morning, that speaks volumes. And the fact that they haven't addressed that, I think, tells you everything you need to know.
The thing that really struck me was the business about the sharp instrument. I don't know if it lands with you the way it does with me, but it's like the body was dismembered, put in 2 bags. So it was severely dismembered and decomposed. And you dismember a body with a sharp instrument. I mean, that's the only way of doing it. So it's just confusing to me.
Which
how the
wounds
coroner,
how did they find?
Well,
yeah,
it's not confusing when.
This is the part where, and shout out to First Liberties, he said he'll be up here soon. That's complete. Take your time and make sure you get your water and everything. This is the part that when we asked yesterday, when we were reviewing that report, they essentially had to put her back together, right? So I'm assuming that when they put her back together, that's when they found the injuries, right? On this, where they said that they were found, right? The puncture wounds. They had to put her back together. So I think maybe that's the sharp object would have been in reference to those 2 injuries in the front and the back, right? And then, of course, the sharp object in cutting her as well. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking out loud.
You put it in context. I had the exact same reaction you two did. And what that tells me, at least, is they had to deal with the fact of the cause and manner. And the only way they could do it was invent this idea that she was killed by a blunt instrument. Remember, they have
sharp
instrument. I'm sorry. And they have to navigate that because that's the only way that they can come up with some kind of an explanation. There isn't any expert who's going to say beyond a medical certainty that was done as a pre-death as opposed to post-death. There's terms for that, but a cross-examination will reveal that that's not a medical certainty and that's complete speculation.
Okay. Well, and I know people were like, well, Garrett goes for the defense. I mean, he is a defense attorney, so I think that's kind of where he's at. He's always going to be for the defense. And again, a lot of speculation, as he's saying. But I want people to understand something, too, is that apparently yesterday, the family found out what happened to Celeste, along with all of us. Shout out to Flojo in the chat as well. They got the news the same way that we did, guys, just so people are aware. So you would imagine the reaction that all of us had 100 times worse for them, being that that's her family. So it's just something to kind of keep in mind. 100 times worse for them as well. I think you said I really don't have high hopes for this case, but Diddy trial, let's hope 1000% better. I don't know, man. I do wonder. One of the things that's still kind of in the back of my mind lingering, right, is the murder weapon. Some of you guys have said, well, could that thing, that the object that he was, out there in the videos and showing, could that have been in? And what happened to the finger, to the 2 fingers? What happened to the finger with the David tattoo? And what happened to the pinky finger too? We want to know. Those are things that we want to know too. What happened to all of that? You know, like, where did those body parts go? Where did they go? Somebody knows. Well, I mean, it wasn't like she was left out to the elements and the animals did something to her. No, like, this was done deliberately by individuals. And I say individuals because I have a hard time believing that it is just David. I feel like there's more than one. Okay. You said that is foul. They should have told the family everything. That's what I thought. I thought they would have told the family everything before the report was released, but they literally they found out with all of us, guys. I mean, that's why you have news reports saying family of teen found dead in Tesla reacts to autopsy. Okay. Reacts. They didn't know. I thought they knew. No, they found out with all of us. I would have hoped that somebody would have called them, but I don't know.
David sits in jail charged with the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The LA County Medical Examiner is releasing the official report on her death.
And Marco Robles joins us now live at the studio tonight with new reaction from the girl's family. Mark?
Yeah, David and Giovanna, the details are deeply disturbing. This medical examiner's report, unsealed by the court, confirms 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez was stabbed to death. The official cause of death listed as multiple penetrating injuries. One stab wound on her left chest, the second on her right side, and injured her liver. The report describes her body weighing 71 pounds as badly decomposed and severely dismembered. We're also learning some of her fingers were even mutilated. We spoke to a former investigator who has assisted in more than 20,000 autopsies. He explained why this report was likely a difficult one.
The condition of her body, how she was presented, it causes a lot of problems because of the condition of her body. It's a lot of tissue. It's decomposed, so you really can't collect what you want in an ordinary autopsy.
Despite that, prosecutors say they believe they have the evidence that connects David to her death. The singer was charged Monday with murder, mutilation of remains, and continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14. He pleaded not guilty. Regarding the autopsy results, the chief medical examiner said in a statement that making the information publicly available is not just about accountability, it's also about social justice and prevention. The family of Rivas Hernandez also releasing a statement this afternoon saying that the findings have caused profound emotional pain. Live here in studio, Mark Robles, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Mark, thank you. Well, this case has taken a lot of twists and turns.
They just... So, yeah, they didn't know. I don't think they knew. They found out at the same time that we did. You said they literally had to put her back together. They had to put her back together. See, why? How would they have been able to find out the actual stabbing wounds on her body if they didn't actually put her together? Of course, I would assume that there was some kind of an object, right, that was used because she was dismembered, but she was stabbed before she was dismembered. Right? That's what it sounds like. Which then makes me wonder, Flojo, if you're in the chat, do you think that did she bleed to death? Did she what, especially in the areas where she was stabbed? And then that's when he decided to dismember, or whoever it was, right? Because, all of this is going to trial. We already know, but, we still got to be careful. I don't know, man. It's just a lot of questions that I have about this. You said, remember to keep it cute in Rabbit's chat room. Yes, that's keep it cute. Keep it cute. Take a Snickers. Because I'm telling you, man, some of this stuff is very heavy. And the people, we get in our feelings. Sometimes we need a Snickers to hype in our, glucose and all the sugar crap. And, sometimes that calms us down. But keep it cute in my chat. Thank you. So thank you. Clearly, Shelly. Did she bleed out? You said it seems counterintuitive to remove fingers and keep. Hold up, let me see. I missed that comment. It seems counterintuitive to remove and keep. Here it is. A body, right? That's what I'm saying. Is some, I'm trying to weigh this in too. I don't know. From the way I took it, some injuries were done before and some after. Well, there's that. So we're going to stop right here because I wanted to hear what they had to do. We're going to move into a little bit of what Steve Fisher had to say on Law and Crime. And it sounds like Garagos had a change of reaction after what happened and he heard about what happened to her body. It sounds like he's like, I changed my tune now. But I'm also going to want to keep an eye on Becky's channel as well, because she did message me this morning. She said she was on her way to court. So I'm going to keep an eye while she's streaming so that we can, stream with her as well. Whenever First Liberty's podcast is ready, he can let me know in the chat. If I missed the message, if Ahmad can hit me up and let me know, I will check the messages.
I want to talk about the motive here. I want to talk about why would David allegedly want to kill Celeste. So now I want to bring in friend of the show, private investigator Steve Fisher, who has been working on this case from the very beginning. Remember, he has been investigating it because he represents the owner of the property where David had reportedly been staying, near where the Tesla was apparently found. So Steve, thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. I have a lot of questions for you, but since the main theme we're focusing on right now is motive, what is your take on the motive here about Celeste, was a witness that she was going to expose David, because that was new. That was a new piece of information. Apparently that was a new allegation, a new theory. Your take on it?
Yeah, I think it's accurate. There's been a few people that I've talked to that are minors, or I've talked to their parents that were in the Celeste world, and obviously I got to protect their identity. However, one thing that they had said is that the Celeste had lost respect for David. And, when I talked about that photo, when I released that photo of her January 2nd, like at the hiking trail staring off, and I said she just looked lost and confused. We had found an SD card from in the house after they abandoned it, or after they moved out of it, and it had a lot of photos. It was from David's camera. It had a lot of photos, including photos of David and of Celeste. And the last photo that we could find of Celeste alive was January 2nd. It was on a hiking trail, and Celeste, she's wearing a hoodie, a brown hoodie, which is his, and she just looked very. I said, she looked very lost and confused, and
she did.
And I was saying that because I knew
this picture right here is so now knowing the full the little that, because I don't think we know everything, right? The little that we know. This picture right here, I remember when we first saw it and Steve first put it out, and I said, this is such a haunting photo. And I know Flojo went to this exact area of where this was taken. And it's haunting because it's almost like it's like frozen in time in terms of like you kind of wonder, what was she thinking? What are you where was she at in all of this? And then this exact sweater is worn later on by David. So all of this, but it's really, I don't know. It's like, what is she staring at? What is she thinking at that moment? Could she play the movie forward and figure out that she was not in a good situation? And it's crazy because she's just a child. And we put so much, a lot of people have put so much on this child. She was dealing with way too much. We'll never know what she was thinking, but it's one of those, this photo is a reminder of that. Do a
little bit more of the story behind it. And that was that, Celeste had really lost respect for David. She knew that she had been, here she was 14 years old. She'd been lured away from school and everything, because of him. And I think she knew that she was in a really bad spot. And I don't think they were getting along great. I think that she had lost respect for him. And so this makes sense. And I do think that he was threatened by her.
So I was trying to get an answer from Nathan Hochman the other night when I had him on Jesse Weber Live. And, was it the idea that she was going to go to the police? Was it the idea that she was going to post something on social media? And obviously said, the details will come out during the preliminary hearing.
That's a good question. Flojo, do you remember what Steve said the date was of that photo? I can't remember, but I want to say when because he found a bunch of photos in the property, he was able, I think he found a memory card or something like that. And he was able to go to the property that David left. So if we can find a date, that'd be great to know.
Any of those ideas make sense to you? I mean, was she about to come forward with this? I imagine what she was going to come forward with, if you listen to what the prosecution's arguing, is that she was having an illegal relationship with David, or if she knew something about him having illegal sex acts with somebody else. I don't think that's what it is, but you tell me.
Yeah, so there's a couple elements to that. I think that, listen, there was claims from the beginning. There were some photos that leaked out of David in Lake Elsinore with this paper bag and this transaction going on. And there was the teacher at her school that talked about people were extorting David. And I do believe that was happening. And then there's further proof, I think, that was happening. And I think David was understanding that this was kind of a grip on him. And then when you lose respect to the person that it's centered around, it can become a real problem. And then, not too long ago, I kind of put out there that there was this report. I tried to get the investigative reports from West Hollywood Sheriff's Department, the Sheriff's Office, which weren't directly tied into this case, but had jurisdiction over the other rental house that David was at, where they have that famous delete everything live stream. Well, when I requested those files, they said that they couldn't release them because there was an investigation in progress, and referred me to the Riverside County Sheriff's Department and the LAPD. So that pretty much said that there was an investigation ongoing that involved Riverside County, who was the agency that had the missing persons report. So
multiple agencies were probably working on this. We'll never know, right? That's a great point that he's making. By the way, Madison, I want to thank you so much yesterday for sharing that report and my email. Thank you so much. I actually shared it with other people. Appreciate you. Shout out to you and thank you for that. That was really helpful yesterday. Thank you. Thank you. I hadn't seen it. I didn't even know it had been released. So thank you so much. That was really helpful. I was definitely not prepared for all of that, but it made me think about just different things and whatnot. Flojo said he visited that place. The date of the picture of, where she's wearing the hoodie and she's kind of looking into basically nothing. You said I visited that place January 3rd, 2026. Gotcha. I do wonder what the date is that photo. Thank you. I appreciate you, Madison. Thank you. You said, so then my question is if he cut her up, what did he use? Has he been used? You guys know those photos out there of him with that knife, the specific knife. Did he use that as the weapon and then used it everywhere else in every other photo? Like, have we been seeing the weapon that he used in these videos the whole time? It does make you wonder, like, what have we been, what did he use? And also, where are the other parts?
I do think that they were looking into that relationship. How aggressively, I don't know. But these are all things that David was aware of. And he was questioned in that.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on how they'll be able to prove that was the motive, how they'll be able to prove that was the intent, right? I mean, just to give everybody an idea, Hochman had said there's physical evidence and there's forensic and digital evidence that we intend to present in court to prove these charges beyond a reasonable doubt. How are they going to be able to prove that he lured her to the house to kill her and lured her for the purposes of killing her because he knew she was going to expose him or that she was a threat? How do you think they're going to prove that exactly?
Probably through a mountain of somewhat circumstantial evidence, I guess. And that is a weakness in this case, I think. When he's talking about physical evidence, at the press conference, he didn't even mention physical evidence. I don't believe he talked about how much digital evidence there was. And I think that this younger generation, a lot of them truly don't understand things can be recovered. You delete things, they're not truly deleted, right? And there's artifacts that are left everywhere. And we've seen that in the Nancy Guthrie case with the video evidence that surfaced, even though she didn't have a subscription. So there are communications, I'm certain, that are going to be a real problem for him. However, is there I just killed Celeste and this is, for this reason? Probably not, but it's going to be a totality of all those things. And also Celeste's own words, probably, because I think Celeste was aware that there was people trying to financially gain off of that situation to keep.
Celeste was aware that there was people that were trying to gain off of that situation. That's interesting. Now, we have the preliminary hearing today, right? And what we can expect, okay? Because the judge is going to ask questions like he might ask, can the prosecutor present the charge? Like these are things that are going to be assessed. What charges can be presented here, right? I think what evidence does the prosecutor have against the defendant? I'm thinking overall, is the evidence legally obtained and admissible? Does the evidence establish probable cause? Does the defense wish to cross-examine, and whatnot? Like it does make you wonder. We're going to be going through all of this unless David has a change of mind and says, I'm not going to put people through this. I'm just going to go ahead and say that I did it. Kind of like what the Lisk, serial killer did in Long Island. It makes you wonder, right? Especially with all this evidence that's very heavy. And again, I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. I would think that if you have spent so much money on someone like Blair Blair Burke, you're not going to just, willfully say everything. You're going to take people through the ringer. And he kind of gives me that too.
Things quiet. And I think when you wrap those in with what he was worried about and investigations going on and the totality of everything, I think it's just an assumption that, everybody will probably come to.
Well, look, my thought was there something in a text message or a social media message allegedly from David that would confirm this plan or confirm the intentions? Again, he's innocent to proven guilty. But this goes back to another point that I raised with Hochman on my show the other night was people look at this and say, it's very hard to believe that this young guy, Singer, did all of this on his own, killed her, dismembered her, put her in the Tesla, and had this plan. So it goes back to this idea, did he act alone? And Hochman basically said, look, the investigation's ongoing. If people have more.
Hochman is going to say what Hochman says. He's not going to say anything. But that is the $1 million question that we all have. At least I have. I'm like, there's no way. It's a question and a statement. There is no way.
More information will come forward. I still have the interpretation they probably have some cooperating witnesses and are waiting to see if they will remain cooperating witnesses.
And I want to say something real quick. I want to tell you guys, don't get triggered by things like this. There are people out here that will do this because they want this kind of attention. They want the creator to put their comment up so that they could be read and they get the attention. This is what they want. Listen, it's the case is going to go as it needs to go, and things are going to happen the way that they need to happen. So this is what I've seen a lot, ultimately, and people go into people's comments. So I hope, get your rocks off on this comment that's been put up, and then start up a new account, because I don't even like to, ban people, but I'm going to ban you. Go get a new account. This is why I'm saying, this is why I don't even, that was a premature, I know that was a prima block for me. This is what I'm telling y'all, ignore it, because there are some people that really get off of that. Y'all remember when we covered the Diddy trial, we had a lot of that, and it was a way in which you give these people attention. So moving forward, I'm not looking at those comments. I acknowledge I tell you guys in the chat, don't acknowledge those kinds of comments, because that's what they want. They want you to fight with them. They want you to go back and forth. And the minute that you go back and forth, you're literally going back and forth to what exactly? To nothing, to a bot, to a troll. So please just move on. 3 dots next to their name and just block it. Okay. Or time them out, or do what you got to do. Don't even pay attention to that. Thank you.
And I know he mentioned that when it came to a potential grand jury, there's cooperating and non-cooperating witnesses, which I thought was an interesting point to it. But I guess it goes back to this question, motive, right? If David is accused of killing Celeste because she was going to expose him, it does make me wonder who else had this knowledge and who else may have been involved. Again, assuming the allegations are true.
Yeah. And I think your interview with the DA, said a lot, where he would not commit that there was not going to be other people charged in this. And I think he was also, letting it be known to them that if that cooperation tapers off, or if they're in any way not being fully truthful, they can be charged. I think that this case is built on 2 or 3 people's witness accounts. And listen,
I 1000% agree. I think that anything goes. If they don't cooperate, go straight to jail. Do not pass go.
I'll just tell you, I think that the 2 biggest pillars in this case are going to be Neil Langston, and Rob Morganrath is a co-manager, whatever you want to call it, on the management team. I think that those are huge people that probably know a lot. Not saying they were directly involved, but I think they know a lot. And just the timing now that they've kind of nailed down of this April 23rd to May 5th timeline, going on, announcing the tour and everything, even makes me think I'm more confident in that.
Can you talk about that? Because if we take the prosecution's theory here that he would do he killed Celeste to protect his career. Yeah. Why is that date so significant? Because you posted on X about the tour, and you posted on X about the significance of that date.
So on April, prosecutors are saying April 23rd, he lured her to his house and she's never seen again. He then announces within hours, announces that the Wither tour is on, and night of April 24th, he's most likely flying to New York because on 25th, he's at a 3-day pop-up event in New York City. So this is within hours of her being lured over there. So I think that's really important. And then all of a sudden you got this, they seem pretty certain about this May 5th date for dismemberment. And I got to believe that's from some sort of direct witness testimony, but he's back.
I think do you notice how in the breakdown, in the outline, there are dates. We have dates. And I think that's corroborated with text messages, digital evidence, witnesses, all kinds of things that they could put together to even say this. And yes, thank you so much, Cheeks, for saying this. If you actually believe that he is innocent, that's fine. We're not arguing with that. He's allowed to have a defense, right? But I don't want to see a comment that's clearly meant to piss off people in the chat because they want to take the attention away from what we're actually reporting. Bring some substance to your comment. So if you're only going to say free D4VD, okay, well, why do you think he's innocent? Say more, because we've had this conversation before, and Cheeks knows we've gone back and forth on this when we were covering the Diddy trial and other things that we've covered. Bring some substance. Like, I want to hear why you think. What is it? Maybe I missed something. Maybe we missed something. We could really learn from each other. But what we're not going to do is go back and forth with trolls or anybody that's trying to troll, because it's just not like, you're just going to get blah. That's what you're going to do. And it's going to piss everybody off. Okay. That's how we handle it here. Perhaps David was attempting to create an alibi. Okay. Says Heidi, shout out to Heidi, and saying, oh, I wasn't in LA. If that's when she was murdered, because he left like that the very next day. Now, you guys were asking the date for that picture, right? Shout out to Flojo, who did send me the link when that was discussed. Hold up. Share this tab instead. Hopefully that's the right one. This is when Steve talks about that picture. 1 year ago today, January 2nd, 2025, is the date of the last known photo my investigation has uncovered of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. It is important to emphasize that law enforcement investigators have access to more extensive resources. It may very well have images or evidence from that date after, right? Like, we don't know. But this is what Steve saw. So this is the photo, January 2nd, 2025.
This shows it was taken in Baldwin Hills, California. All right, you guys, so what you're looking at right here, this is the actual photo known as the last proof of life of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, as identified by Steve Fisher. So according to Fisher, this image represents the final photograph that his investigation has uncovered showing Celeste alive.
Yeah.
This image shows Celeste standing along the pedestrian walkway of the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook. She's basically standing right next to a metal guardrail, and right across the street is a gated property. This photo appears to be taken in the daytime, and there's no crowds, there's no landmarks, nothing that's going to draw attention, just literally Celeste standing there. She even looks like she might even be on the phone. Now, to better understand this photo, you kind of have to understand like where this photo was actually taken, right? Now, if you head over to this map right over here, there's only one parking lot here in the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook, and that's right here where this blue dot is. Now, the red X marks the approximate location of where Celeste was standing when this photo was taken along that pedestrian walkway. Now, this is not a scenic overlook. This is not even a viewpoint. This is basically a private residence blocked by trees. This image here shown, it basically illustrates exactly what her viewpoint would have been from that spot. So I'm standing here right about where we believe the photo may have been taken. Now, if you guys can see those two orange little stone entranceways for their gate, it's actually a lot closer than it appears in the video. But this appears to be right where she was at, standing when she took the photo. And if you guys turn this way, right, and you guys wonder what she was looking at, there was absolutely no scenic route for her to view. So she was standing here, or even if she was standing, let's go down a little bit more and just say she was standing here, right? There really is nothing to look at. There's a little bit of a, view right there, but other than that, there's really not much to see out there. So I'm curious, why she was standing there.
Why was she?
Now, this photo does not
It almost seems like she was waiting for something. Who knows? Like something, or maybe a ride. I don't know. Waiting for something. Shout out to Flojo again. We're gonna jump over here back to the video that we were watching because I do want to jump over to wait, is this the one? I think so.
He's back in LA.
Here we go.
Because on the
Just wanted to give you guys
11 p.m. on May 5th.
I wanted to give you guys some context to that photo. Thank you, Flojo.
He does now deleted social media posts, but we've recovered it from downtown LA.
What about this Santa Barbara trip? Because the Santa Barbara trip is something that came up earlier on in the investigation that authorities were potentially looking into, this Santa Barbara trip that David had made. I think it was in the spring of 2025. So where does that fit into this? Because they didn't mention that at the presser.
So we've never, when I've been asked about this, I've been pretty clear. We don't have any evidence of the Santa Barbara trip. The first we heard about the Santa Barbara trip was when LAPD referenced it in their news release. And we do have some photos. Now, these are before the time this would have happened. We do have some photos of him in the National Forest, but still in LA County. I do notice that the charging documents say for the dismemberment on May 5th in the county of Los Angeles. David Burke did just, so now I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. You probably know better than me if that can be somewhat vague and say in the county of Los Angeles because he was a resident there. But it does say that happened there. I have no evidence of the Santa Barbara trip. So, I don't know.
Okay, well, again, let's go to this other part because I haven't spoken to you since the complaint came out. Cause of death, right? We're all waiting for the ME's report. I actually understand that I think you contacted the ME's office to find out when this report is going to be released. Why is this so significant what are you going to be looking out for? Because to me, when the defense says that he's not the cause of her death.
So just so people are aware, Becky's heading down there now. So we're going to be going over there here pretty soon. Sylvia, thank you. I got your message. Good morning. Sylvia is also out there, our supporter. Shout out to Sylvia. Shout out to Pinche Becky, who are both out there. They're on their way out there. Okay. Just so people are aware. So we are going to have some, I'm waiting till she gets a little bit closer to the courthouse. Okay.
And you hear Nathan Hockman talking about, the coroner came up with their own conclusion. I think cause of death may be a big legal issue here. You're talking a dismembered body, decomposed body.
Oh, that was quick. This lady walks fast. Hold up. Share this tab instead. Shout out to Pinche Becky.
Here, I'm going to run up to her. I want to make sure we are in the right location. I know I think they had mentioned a different, department. So anyways, head on over to Rabbits later on.
I'm over here like it's going to take Becky a minute. No, she's already there. Shout out to Pinche Becky. Shout out to Sylvia. I'm going to share her channel here in the chat so you guys can check her out too.
Media stream so you guys can see who's here, who's not. But I don't want to get up there any later than I feel I already am. Woo! They're good how to represent today. Hold on. Oops. Woo. But we made it. We had to look presentable today. We are representing Rabbit. Anyways, guys, good morning. I'm on my way in. Update on my son. He's doing well. He's gonna the surgeon is going to do a consult later on today. I was tagged, we always do tag things, so it's like tag here. Someone thank you. Thank you, Rabbit. So we're gonna
shout out to Pinche Becky and her dimples, y'all. Make sure you guys check her out.
Somebody's always with him at the hospital. I did spend the night there. I had to get ready there. I got all dolled up because what else can you do at freaking 3 o'clock in the morning? You can't sleep because you keep constantly coming in. So welcome in everyone from Rabbit's Chat. If my mom, I'm sorry I didn't see you guys already put up her channel. Please head on over to Rabbit. She's going to give you all of the information on the Celeste Rivas page for David, whatever his name is. I don't know. We just want to be a monster. Today's freelance. screen because I want to make sure that I'm in there so that I can grab a ticket. It was for the media. It was for... Andan buscando la entrada. Es aquí. Puede pasar por aquí. Sí, pase por aquí. Sí, allá está la entrada. Puede pasar y...
No conocemos.
No, pase por ahí. Okay, guys.
I'm gonna
Go. Let me walk these people in.
Gracias. She's trying to walk. Becky's always so helpful. Shout out to pinche Becky. Yeah, so I'm sorry I did not shout out some people. Let me shout out Glow. Is it Dial? Shout out to you. He used to send money to her. I heard that on Strategic Eyes. Yeah, there's footage out there of where and there's messages too. So there's that. I mean, there's some stuff out there that says that he might have sent her some money or whatever. We're gonna go back because we missed a good portion of this stream. When she was walking up to the courthouse. So yes, that is accurate. If you've been following this case from the beginning, there was, I think it was like, I can't remember how much it was on the Apple Pay. If somebody remembers, but I do remember seeing a screenshot that said that, something to that effect. Glow, thank you so much for the $1.99. And that is accurate. We did find that, especially it was reported on the Reddits. My Tiff Girl, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Constance Still Brown, thank you for becoming a member, guys. Make sure you guys are supporting. Hit the like button. Hit the hype button, guys. Get us out there. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. That is our goal, okay? I've been a little slow because I've had some other things going on and whatnot, but we will get there, you know, if God permits. So it's very important that you guys support, please, and also support Becky. Support her, you guys. We got people out there, boots on the ground. You tell me who's doing that right now. Keep that in mind, all right? We out there, we reporting every day, and we pulling documents and doing paperwork and doing it all for you guys. Make sure you guys are supporting. Thank you. And that is right. Dials Glow, you asked this question. That's right. He sent her over 90,000, I think. Was it Apple Pay? Because Apple Pay is the one that stands out to me, if I remember correctly. I think it was Apple Pay, pretty sure. But I hope that you got the documents that I emailed you yesterday as well. Thank you, Vicky. Shout out to my mods too. Shout out to my beautiful, wonderful mods. Thank you. Andressa, thank you so much for your 6-month membership. Love your updates. Well, Andressa, I love the fact that you're always here. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you. All right, let's go back to Becky's video so we can watch. I don't see a lot of action in the courthouse yet. Preliminary hearing, just so people are aware. I'm going to also go back to the, just refresh to see if she's live again and see what she tells us.
Sorry about that. Okay, guys. So, we're live, obviously. Duh. I am a little late. Quick update. My son is doing better. And that is the reason why I felt comfortable enough to come. He's not going to have the search and consult until later on today. Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting text messages. I believe it was going to be in a different courtroom today. So I want to make sure that we have seats. So okay. I probably won't do too much of a...
Guys, thank you, Flojo. Those that were asking about the 90K, let me tell you what we're talking about, okay? Because again, some of you guys might be late to this, and some of us have been following this for a while. Flojo, thank you. This is Apple Pay 90K. This is supposedly a message between Celeste and David. Okay? 90K on Apple Pay. I think there's like a 10K limit. People, I've never sent this. Listen, $50, $100, Apple Pay, great, but 90,000? Give me 10 bands right now. 90,000 pending. I can't stop falling for her. How many racks can I have? D4VD, he posted that on his own social media. Hold up, let me see. Make myself smaller. You guys can see this is his what is it? Check mark? D4VD check mark. This was January 31st of 2024. Sending a child 90,000. That's the context that we're talking about. Excuse me, not 90, 9,000. Why am I saying 90, y'all? The coffee hasn't hit me, y'all. My apologies. My apologies. 9,000, not 90. Why am I thinking 90? Maybe it's, can somebody send me 90,000? 9,000. Thank you. So I know, man, I'm telling you, the coffee has not hit me. I'm having some black tea. So we're going to make it work. We're going to pull through. Yes. Finally, I know. Sorry, it took me a minute. More coffee. I know, y'all. Sorry. I've been working. Anyways, I'm seeing numbers. Yes. So where she well Glow, remember she's a runaway, right? So who's keeping track? Do her parents know? Did anybody know that she was getting this much money and whatnot? Yeah, I'm gonna have coffee and tea. I'm trying. You guys know I'm a coffee and caffeine girl. Like that wakes me up. It hasn't hit me yet. It will, but it hasn't hit me yet. So I'm a little slow. So yes. So let's go ahead and jump over to Pinche Becky. Oops, she's live. Hold up, guys. Hold up. Give me 1 second.
Sorry, I'm trying to cross the street and not get squashed. And yes, it's legal to jaywalk, but I'm not really jaywalking because as long as you're crossing from a curb like this, you can't get it. Hey, welcome in. Nomi, I got the information. Like I said, I won't be able to start accessing any of my contacts until probably next week. As you know, my son is still in the hospital. I spent the night there. Whew, doggy. Got ready there. So you can do a lot. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you. They waited for me. So I am running a little late. Sylvia is already here. I'm going to run up to her. I want to make sure we are in the right location. I know they were, I think they had mentioned a different, department. So anyways, head on over to Roberts later on. Oh, good morning, guys. Good morning. I normally would do like a quick, media string so you guys can see who's here, who's not. But I don't want to get up there any later than I feel I already am. Whew. You're good how to represent today. Hold on. Oops. Whew. But we made it. We had to look presentable. Today we are representing Rabbit. Anyways, guys, good morning. I'm on my way in. Update on my son. He's doing well. He's going to the surgeon is going to do a consult later on today. I was tagged, we always do tag teams, so it's like tag your someone. Thank you. Thank you, Rabbit. So we're gonna go in right now. He's doing well. Somebody's always with him at the hospital. I did spend the night there. I had to get ready there.
Shout out to Becky. We're waiting. She's going to give us an update. She'll probably be in the chat pretty soon. Sylvia is also out there too. Shout out to our supporters. Thank you. I know listen, you got to look cute in court because you never know. You might get a feisty little bailiff, but if you cute, you never know.
I got all dolled up because what else can you do at freaking 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep because you keep constantly coming in. So welcome in everyone from Rabbit's Chat. I'm sorry I didn't see you guys already put up her channel. Please head on over to Rabbit. She's going to give you all of the information on the Celeste Rivas page, David, whatever his name is. I really don't care. We just want to see the monster. Today is Freeland. want to make sure that I'm in there so that I can grab a ticket. It was for the media. Andan buscando la entrada. Es aquí. Puede pasar por aquí.
Becky, like I said, she's always so helpful with the court.
Pase por aquí.
Shout out to her, man.
Sí, allá está la entrada. Puede pasar y...
No conocemos.
No, pase por ahí. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. Let me walk these people in.
Gracias.
Bye. Ahorita ahí pase, nomás si tiene, ¿cómo se llama?
Okay, so we're going to wait for an update from her. Now, hold up. Let me go back a little bit and let me shout out some people because some of you guys have questioned. Alien Babies, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you, Alien Babies. Thank you. Princess Jasmina, she is asking, where was she lured from? Did I miss something? I'm so confused. Flojo was amazing last night. His emotions had me sad. I know, Flojo. I think that, man, I'm telling you, it's been like all at once, the information that has hit everybody. We don't know where she was lured from. That's what lying in wait. You know, there's that verbiage, but also like where she was lured from. Where could she have been lured from somewhere? Did somebody drop her off to the location and that's where David was waiting for her? There's a lot of questions that we have about this, so we don't know yet. But thank you so much for the $4.99 love. Greek lady, thank you so much for this super chat. Thank you for all the work that you do. Rabbit, you are the best. Listen, thank you so much, guys. Shout out to you guys for supporting. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, guys. If I don't say it enough, I just want to say thank you for everything, guys. Misty. I feel like it's been longer than 17 months. Thank you for rocking with us every day. I love you. Well, I thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Oh my God, so much love in this chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you for keeping it cute too. You guys, we keep it cute in here, okay? And if we can't, we get, we got to get our Slim Jim, our Snickers, or whatever to get us on check, okay? Because that's what we do. You said she was living with another apartment rented because the lease was up already. Are you talking about that other property that they say that was also with D4VD? Yeah, there's a lot of speculation. Okay, so we're gonna do this while we wait for Becky. We're gonna jump over back to this commentary right here with Steve Fisher, because Steve Fisher, again, he's been here from the start. He's also a channel friend. Shout out to Steve Fisher. I know our schedules are crazy, so I hope I can get him one day back to the channel. Who knows? You never know. He might drop by and I might be able to drop the link. Completely up to him. Let's get into this while we wait for an update from Becky.
I hate to talk like this, but that's the way it is. And I'm wondering and a sharp instrument potentially being used. What are you going to be looking out for cause of death? And have you gotten any word about when that report is coming out?
So I have been in contact with the Emmy's office. They just said that they have not, this is as of yesterday, they had not yet received the order unsealing the autopsy.
The court did that the other day. Right?
I know. I was there. Listen, I was there at the arraignment.
Wow.
I listened to the judge say right there.
Well, I mean, this was 12 hours. Well, this was several hours ago, but as of yesterday evening, we read the report. And I do wonder, and I'm sure Steve probably posted it on his Twitter. I wonder where he stands with all of this, because it's like I said, all of this is a shocker, man, to actually know the details. And there's probably a lot more, guys, that we don't even know. We don't know everything. So keep that in mind.
When Beth Silverman requested to be unsealed, she said, I'm unsealing it. So why they didn't have it immediately, I do not know. Here, if you're going to subpoena witnesses for tomorrow, I don't know how that's going to happen for the prelim tomorrow. But to get back, to the report itself and the cause, in Blair Burke, his attorney's written statement, she brought that up about it will show that he's not the cause of death. And I was there in person. She said the exact same statement in person to the judge. Didn't say anything about the manner of death. Allegedly, homicide, but says that he's not the cause of it. So it's strange. It seems like she's leaning on something. But she also said in court, Blair Burke also said that she does not have a copy of the autopsy. So I don't know if she's going solely off of David's statements to her or relying on that. But she did say she has not seen a copy of it. And
yeah,
Beth Silverman said, I don't know how we can go forward to the preliminary when she doesn't.
Let me tell you something. So Sylvia, shout out to Sylvia, our supporter. She was in the courtroom with Becky, right? And she said, you remember that snark that Beth Silverman and Blair Burke? She said that there was so much more to that snark. It was so much tension in that courtroom. you could just feel it in the air. And they're the ones over here just, citizens, part of the public, reporting area. There was so much tension in that courtroom. And I think that's maybe the aura, what Beth Silverman brings, because I don't know, ever since we started talking about her and we heard about her, and then I started doing a deep dive. She was led that the prosecution of that serial killer that happened in California too. But apparently on Monday, when all of this went down, there was so much tension that people could feel it. They just feel that tension. But I will say something. Beth Silverman, there's a lot of photos of Beth Silverman and the family walking together in and out of the courtroom. So she was very much, showing her support of the family as this situation is happening. But I could see it, man. The little bit of snark that we got when Blair was up there, well, Your Honor, we have not received the discovery. We've been waiting here forever and a day. And Beth turns around, she's like, excuse me? Your Honor, counsel knows how to file a motion. She knows what to do and how to get down. Do your work, do your job. It's like, oh my God, I felt it here. I know the chat felt it. We all felt it, but apparently it was a lot more powerful when they were in the courtroom. I said, I cannot wait, because it's going to take us a minute to get there. We will be, I think it's what I heard, estimate is it might be 15 months, 12, a year before we actually see a trial here because of all the hearings and the ins and outs. Listen, I want to go. And I'm going to tell you guys what that tension is. I can only imagine with Beth Silverman, because, the lady's something else. You said you respect Beth Silverman? I don't know, man. She don't play. I still remember when TMZ was trying to talk to her about Neo while she was going in there. She didn't even look at that. She didn't look at the camera. She didn't look at TMZ. She's like, listen, I'm not new to this. Get out of my way. And then she just walked into the courtroom. I said, oh, I'm so here for it. I'm so here for it. Anyways, let's keep going.
And hasn't even seen the autopsy yet. So,
do you think it's going to be delayed? Do you think this preliminary hearing is going to be delayed?
I think what's going to happen is we'll show up tomorrow for the prelim. They'll have, sidebar with the judge, and I think it'll be continued. I don't think it's going to be continued a long ways, because I do think that this is also a pressure move to see what exactly, and to get that discovery as quickly as possible and get as much of it as possible. And I think Blair Burke needs to find out, what kind of the real story is here. I think that everybody's kind of operating in the dark except for the DA side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they look, from a defense perspective, they have to be careful what they say initially. They can't make we know the person who did it. We're going to show you who the person who did it. That's not their burden, but they might also be just saying he's not the cause of her death, because maybe they're saying we're going to bring in our own medical experts or they're saying we know he's not the cause of her death because he didn't kill her. He's not responsible. They may not be so legally focused. They might be more kind of in general terms speaking about that. I'm not entirely sure, but I also wanted to give you the opportunity. So on X, you had posted something about David's hand, but then it clarified it a little bit. Can you just take a minute to explain that to people?
Okay, hold up, guys.
So,
let me stop right here, because Flojo just sent me a video. Let's see. I gotta be careful though, because I'm not trying to send. Is there a way can I open this up without? Here it is. Flojo, I'm gonna show them the email that you just sent me, the video. What is this? This definitely did not age very well. Is this it? Let me know if you guys can hear the sound. Okay, I'm going to play it now. Y'all can't hear it? Y'all can hear it. Okay, we're going to have to download this video then. Give me 1 second. You guys want to hear this. You guys can't hear it. Oh my God. This did not age very well. Hold up. Where can I, hold up, friends. Hold up. D4VD singing. Let me put this here, because this y'all got to watch this. Okay, let me airdrop. Let's see, maybe we can share it on the give me 1 second, guys, because I gotta shout out some people too, but let me just Oh, this did not age very well. Oh my God, that is an understatement. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Okay. How come I can't? All right, let me see if you can hear the sound now, because I don't think you might. Well, let me see. I might have to share it through a different window. Share it. QuickTime. I think we're going to oh, hold up. Here, you guys got to hear this. You have to hear this. You have to hear this. Let's see. We're going to do the window instead. Okay. Okay, got it. I'm going to mute myself. Put a 1 in the chat if you hear it. Okay, here we go. Put a 2 if you can't hear it.
I'm on the pavement. I'ma shoot him where he laying. I'ma shoot him while he down. Make his body hit the ground. I'ma murder all my friends. Call me Melly in the town. I'm not getting indicted. I'm shooting him on sight, and what? He gonna pull up in and deny it. I'm not testifying in court. Hey, Your Honor, I did not buy it. I did not even try it. I just wanted to rely it. Hard.
Oh my God. Let me play it again, okay?
I'm on the pavement. I'ma shoot him where he laying. I'ma shoot him while he down. Make his body hit the ground. I'ma murder all my friends. Call me Melly in the town. I'm not getting indicted. I'm shooting him on sight, and what? He gonna pull up and deny it. I'm not testifying in court. Hey, Your Honor, I did not buy it. I did not even try it. I just wanted to rely it. Hard.
Flojo, do we know the date of this video? Lord have mercy. Hi, Dios mío. Hey, Live More. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, please, and thank you. I got some shout outs to do, but I was not. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, then. Thoughts, opinions about that didn't age very well, would you say? Definitely didn't age very well. Definitely not.
Screen grabs. These weren't necessarily photos that he posted, but in certain videos and whatnot, there was clearly some sort of mark on David's hand. And listen, I'm still not clear on what this is, because he definitely had some sort of temporary tattoo around the time of Coachella, which is in the time that this all happened, that he had drawn on his hand. However, in the middle of that, there's this deeper gouge. And I put out there that, listen, this lines up with kind of the ribbing on one of the knives that I had posted that were on his camera, that one of the nights he was with Celeste in downtown LA, he was showing off his knife. I deleted it and I put out a post clarifying that, he does have that temporary tattoo, but I only deleted it because I'm not certain. I still think that could have been the temporary tattoo masking something or giving an excuse why I was there, because we have a image from I think it's May 9th. He's in Seoul, Korea, I believe, and there's still healing going on in the middle of the hand. The rest of it's gone, but there's still healing going on in the middle of the hand. So I'm not saying that it's completely wrong. I just don't have enough. I can't say for certainty, so I walked it back. I still think it could be something there. It might not be. We're trying to get more clarity on it, but it's something concerning.
Very telling. You said, oh man, it said we can see a post. Well, what y'all are still reacting to that music video. That didn't age very well. I'm just saying. Okay, it didn't age very well. Jay McCarthy, thank you so much for the 20. Thanks for all that you do. No, thank you guys. We're still waiting to hear back from Pinche Becky. Shout out to Pinche Becky, who's out in LA courts for us, as well as Sylvia, our supporter. They're going to give us updates in the chat. We have somebody out there. They didn't have to do any of this. Make sure you guys are supporting them as well. Sylvia doesn't have a channel, but Pinche Becky does. So I've dropped the link, but I'm going to pin it in the comments so you guys can go and subscribe, tell her that I send you. Shout out to her. She had a family emergency, and she moved things around to make this happen. She didn't have to, and of course family always comes first, but it sounds like things are looking up for her, so shout out to her. So Jay, thank you so much for this super chat. Thank you. Velvet, thank you Rabbit, for everything that you do. We appreciate you. Also, for everyone asking, the preliminary hearing was set 9 minutes ago. Well, yeah, and it is 8:50 right now in Cali time. Preliminary hearing was scheduled at 8:30, so we're just waiting now. Thank you so much, Velvet, for telling the people. Thank you. People got to be patient. I know they were asking. It's not there. This is different time zones, but They might start a little bit later. Robin, thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you. Thank you. Norma, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Livermore just gifted 10 memberships, guys. If you have been gifted and received a gift from my member, Livermore, make sure you guys are putting hearts in the chat. And shout out to everybody that gifted yesterday, guys. I couldn't do the hearts because my camera died at the very end, so I apologize. Forgive me for not putting the hearts up. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so Cali time, it's 8:50 in Cali right now, so there's that. That's why it's past time, but like I said, we probably won't hear anything until later. According to Reddit, 2 years. So that clip with the music video is 2 years old. And how old he was he a minor then when he was singing that? Could very well be the case. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. You said, hold up. Let me see what else is being said as well. And I don't even see anybody else's live out there as well. So we're getting, again, updates from people that we have in the court right now.
I think we're all trying to get a little bit more clarity into what's happening. Steve Fisher, thanks for being on top of this. And thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Oh, man.
Thanks for having me.
And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Shout out to Jesse Weber and all the people from the Law and Crime channel, network, and everything who bring us live stuff all the time. They don't have to. But apparently, look. Garagos is doing his rounds, okay? Mark Garagos, shout out to him. I know. So I always I feel some type of way about Mark Garagos, but he is doing his rounds and he's hearing about the autopsy and, giving his opinion. Y'all know we go back and forth on Mark Garagos.
Now to the murder case that has been top of mind for so many of us.
We are talking about the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Her body, of course, found dismembered in the trunk of a Tesla back in September. As we know, that Tesla belonged to the singer David. The 21-year-old is now expected to be charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances in a preliminary court hearing today.
But will this case be a slam dunk? Here to weigh in is renowned criminal defense attorney Mark Garagos. Mark, thank you for being here this morning.
Okay. I want to know, by the way, this is the thing. I don't know if you guys know, but Mark Garagos used to represent Michael Jackson. Okay. Michael Jackson gone, right? I think there's a documentary coming about him this week or something like that it's actually officially signed by the family. Well, now Mark Garagos is representing victims of Michael Jackson. So he went from being cool with Michael to now, hey, Michael's gone. Now I'm going to represent his victims. And these are the same victims that testified against him. So there's that. Okay. There's that. I mean, this is why we go back and forth with Garagos. Okay.
My pleasure. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So you've been a part of some of the biggest cases of the past 2 decades. What's your take here on this particular case? What stands out to you?
Well, since we're on a local Los Angeles station, let me tell you that the contretemps or kind of back and forth amongst the agencies is what's been fascinating me. Yesterday, the medical examiner released his report and had some, I guess, I would characterize them as some pretty frank words about the fact that they had already been muzzled. In my almost 5 decades of doing this, I've never seen a medical examiner where one of the agencies went to court to get an order to basically shut them up, which is astonishing to me. Wow. Finally, the medical report came out, and there was quite a few, I think, surprises to people.
I would say a lot of surprises. Yes, Mark Garagos is the homie hopper, okay? Like I said, and I don't know, is it... I think if you're a homie hopper, there should always be a conflict of interest when you are a homie hopper. To me, that's a no. When you go back, that should be a conflict of interest. But yes, he was cool with Michael. He defended Michael during the time that these allegations came out when he was alive. And now he's flipped and he's representing people that at some point supported Michael and they went against Michael. I don't know. If you're a homie hopper, that should be a conflict of interest, right? A mad bitch link up should always be a conflict of interest. I'm just saying, but hey, I don't write the rules.
Who've been following this case.
What surprises are you talking about, Mark?
First of all, it looks like they've now, at least the medical examiner has made the finding that sharp objects were used causing death. Before that, the speculation had been that maybe in a dismemberment or a situation like that, that a sharp object had been used. Also, there was severed fingers and apparently limbs. So a lot more gruesome than what had been speculated. You know, early on, people thought that the reason that it could have been, and part of this was because LAPD was releasing statements saying they weren't even sure a crime had been committed. And now you take a look at the medical examiner's report, which, by the way, has been available since last year. And apparently somebody was not getting the information, or they didn't want to hear what the medical examiner had to say.
Well, so they determined her cause of death, if I remember correctly when we read it last night, was September 9th of 2025, okay? So it was available for a couple months, and they didn't want to release it. Well, they couldn't because of that hold, right? I ordered the report. I was one of them that ordered it in November, and I'm probably going to get it in the mail now, but we've already read it, so there's no point. I don't think it's going to tell me anything different than what's already been said. So all of that, something to keep in mind. The part that's still very haunting for a lot of us is that situation where she had the David tattoo on the ring finger, and that finger's removed, and so is the pinky. There's just so many things, so many moving parts to this, guys. Like,
I mean, the fact that the body was so badly decomposed and that an autopsy couldn't even determine an exact time of death or even a weapon, how will that hinder prosecutors in this case?
I think it's an enormous uphill battle for prosecutors in this case. I was actually surprised that they were able, in the toxicology analysis, to come to they didn't really come to conclusions as much as they detected things. There's going to be a whole battle over the toxicology, over the cause, the manner, the time of death. I mean, the cross-examination of the medical examiner and the forensics, and dare I predict, you will find out very soon that I'm betting the DA's office or LAPD went outside of the medical examiner and hired other experts to weigh in on this.
Yeah, the DA and the chief of police were both asked why it took so long to make an arrest, because it was almost a full year that had passed when Celeste Rivas Hernandez had disappeared and her body was found. And then it was 7 months later that they actually made this arrest. How could that play a role in this case?
I think you're going to find, even though they're now the kind of messaging, if you will, by the DA is, I was in lockstep with that's his term, with LAPD. I don't think that's the case at all. The scuttlebutt around the courthouse is that was not the case. They actually arrested David without a criminal complaint, let alone an indictment. And mind you, they've been in front of the grand jury repeatedly over the last couple of months. You guys even reported on it. So a lot of that, I think, is going to come out. And dare I say once again that I'll speculate and tell you that LAPD was pushing this and the DA's office was the one who was holding back, so to speak. And then the medical examiner was obviously frustrated. All you have to do is take a look at two of the statements, the unprecedented statements that the medical
So why did the medical examiner put that she died at the age of 15? Did you guys see that statement yesterday? I was like, she never got to turn 15. She died at 14. If you guys remember the statement out there, so it said like it wasn't her right age. And we were talking about that as well. Because I think it was an investigative grand jury. They're not the ones that indict. They give recommendations. Actually, all grand juries are investigative. That's what we were talking about with First Liberties. I don't know if First Liberties is in the chat. If he wants to come up, he can let me know. But yeah, like I do wonder about why they got the age wrong. I was like, what? She never got to turn 15. Anyways.
Examiner issued in this case.
You know, obviously, David he's a relatively famous musician. He's famous on TikTok as well. Some of his music videos and lyrics have gone viral, especially after all this information came out. Will those lyrics, and we asked LAPD Police Chief Jim McDonald this yesterday, will those lyrics play a part in the prosecution's case?
Absolutely. In my opinion, they're going to use it. They have used lyrics in the past. In fact, my partner Alexandra's had cases where they've used the lyrics and they've tried to, and nationally, this is kind of a raging debate in criminal justice system as to whether you can use lyrics. But in this case, I think the prosecution's going to make the argument that the lyrics predate. In fact, there's also Little Dirk, who's being prosecuted in the Central District in Los Angeles. They're using lyrics from one of his songs as well in that prosecution. That's federal, not state, but I don't see there being much distance between the two in terms of prosecutors trying or attempting to use the lyrics.
Ooh, it's eerie.
It is eerie. Almost, art imitating life in a weird way when you hear some of the lyrics there that, homicide.
Romantic Homicide was the title of one of his songs.
Well, look at the music videos. Like there's the one where he's putting the girl in the trunk. And then this is what happens to Celeste. This is how Celeste is found. Like that's the crazy work. I'm like, all of this is playing out very well in public. And that's just, I don't understand is why. I don't know. I'm trying. None of us can make sense of this, honestly.
And he uses imagery of knives and, bloody clothing. You have a hard time thinking that this would not be used against him in some way.
And to your point, one of the things that criminal defense lawyers, in fact, there's a couple of guys who have made a whole ad campaign about shut the blank up if you ever get arrested. I guess you could probably extend it to a artist or musical artist. You better be careful what you write about because it may come back to haunt you.
Just listening to what you're saying so far, Mark, it does sound like you're saying this is going to be a challenging case for prosecutors. But at the same time, on the face of this, if you think about it, I mean, here's a guy who's like 21 years old. It's a 13-year-old girl that went missing. Right. And then she was 14 when she died.
And he had been grooming her for a couple years. Let's not forget that. Yes. So I want to answer this real quick because we did talk about this extensively on Monday. There is this act. It's called the Rap Act. So rap lyrics are frequently used as evidence against artists, particularly in rap and hip hop, to prove guilt, intent, and gang affiliation in criminal trials. Prosecutors treat lyrics as confessions, with over 500 cases using them, including the high-profile trial of Young Thug and Gunna. New legislation, like in California's 2023 law, aims to restrict that practice, and that's coming straight from the ABA article. So, like Young Thug YSL trial, between 2022 to 2025, Fulton County DA used lyrics in a RICO case against Young Thug and got into alleged gang activity. Okay. Tekashi 6ix9ine 2019 lyrics were used to prove gang membership in a federal case. Okay. So there's been a couple of cases out there. Now, the legal response, what people have done, they have limitations. You have the Rap Act, which is Restoring Artistic Protected Act, a proposed federal bill to limit the use of lyrics in court, arguing that rap is a fictional art form. Now, California is decriminalizing artistic expression, which is what you're talking about, in 2023, requires a judge to hold hearings ensuring lyrics are not just prejudicial and have actual relevance before being allowed in court. And then you have the New York's Rap Music on Trial bill. Similar efforts in New York to limit the use of lyrics, supported by artists like Jay-Z and Meek Mills. So Jay-Z and Meek Mills are the ones supporting the New York's Rap Music on Trial bill. Okay. So what a prosecutor does is they say, well, these lyrics are confessions to crimes. They're providing knowledge, intent, and motive, right? And then what a defense will say, well, lyrics are protected speech, often metaphorical and, persona-driven fiction, okay? And using them can unfairly bias a jury. The other problem, too, with some of these, like, celebrities is that it's kind of hard to find a jury that's not going to be biased. If you think about the Diddy trial, I'm like, who did not know Diddy? Even my dad, who who never grew up to that music. You know, you're talking about Mexican, you know, but he knows who El Diddy was. I mean, when we were covering Diddy, he would come be like, hey, what's going on with El Diddy? Like, come on now. I'm just telling you. Sometimes you just know because you hear, you know, the news that's going out there. So yeah. Okay, let's keep going with this commentary because I want to show you guys what I'm going to go over here to Becky's to see if there's any updates. I want to show you guys what the chief of police said yesterday, which we saw yesterday, but some of you guys might have missed it.
They're going to be able to place her with him, and then they're going to go down this road that he was sexually abusing her at the time. It doesn't really look good for the defense team there in that respect.
Hey, look, I don't underestimate, or I don't want to suggest that there are enormous challenges to what I suspect the evidence is. I'll bet you that there are either texts, what I call texts, or messages, or DMs, or things of that nature that are highly inflammatory. I don't know that they'll always come in, but you've got a underage girl, and anybody who can suspect what was happening here or is going to suspect what was happening here. And if there is also video that tends to give context to some of these things, the defense has got a very, very tough kind of hill to climb, in the sense that there's going to be people who come in and are predisposed to want to find him guilty and basically hold him accountable. The problem is, though, from a purely legal standpoint, is the prosecution has to prove time of death, manner of death, how it happened, why it.
Oh, so they're going to really, so the people, those coroner's officers and the medical, all those people are going to be on the stand. They're going to have to really dig into this. And Mariah, I'm so glad you're saying this. I was reading something. Just because he's black doesn't mean his music is rap. It's not. You know how many, you guys know that we've been covering this through and through, right? How often, and I'm like, I don't think he's a rap artist. I don't think, you know, and I'm not an expert in music, right? Like, I know what I know, but he's not a rap artist. But how many journalists have called him a rap artist, right? And so, like, I'm glad that you're saying this, but it's kind of like an indie pop. I think that's what we determine. And even that, it's a different genre of music. I even asked the question, and Obsidian was like, I can't believe you hurt my feelings, because I don't know what, I didn't even know that emo was a style of music. I said, I haven't really touched my inner emo, so I need to figure that out. So yeah, it's like indie pop. That's what it is, right? Yeah, but I think it's important to point out, because people do assume that, that he's a rapper, and he's not. So thank you, Mariah, for saying this. I would agree, right? Can we just be real? Yeah, just listen to his freestyle. He's got a little bit of everything. Emo. But yes, thank you. You said I'm a Led Zeppelin girl, but even I know he isn't a rapper. I didn't think he didn't struck me as a rapper, but people then really said that anyway. So yeah, we are old, Rabbit. Yes, I heard that the new 40 is the new 20. So that's how old I am. All right. 41.
Happened, when it happened. Those are very tough questions. And the fact that it's taken to your original question, which everybody's going to ask, why, if this was such a slam dunk, if this was so obvious, why did it take you 8 months? And why was the investigating agency issuing statements or making statements 2 months in that we don't even know that a crime was committed?
Right. And also we asked LAPD Chief McDonald this yesterday whether there's the possibility of any accomplices, you know, more to come in terms of arrests on the way. He really didn't answer that question, didn't rule it out. That is one of the biggest, to me, unresolved questions so far. How does that complicate both the prosecution and the defense? Does it weaken the case?
Well, I think that it probably does, unless, and I say this unless, generally, without getting into the weeds here, there's been some indication that people who knew things were put in front of that grand jury and may have been given immunities and may have made statements. If that's the case, then generally the prosecutor.
All right, I need you, chat. I need you guys to keep me on track. I need you guys in the chat. You need to tell me, Rabbit, check your phone. Rabbit, check your phone. At least every 5 minutes. Rabbit, check your phone, because I don't check my phone often when I'm live. So my supporter Sylvia texted me and said, hey, Rabbit, just letting you know, we can't take our phones in all the way at this floor. We're going to have to lock them up. So the phones are going to be locked up. They are likely right now in the hearing as we speak. So I need y'all to do me a favor. Just every 5 minutes, say rabbit, just check it. Even if you repeat it, I'll be checking it now. But I don't. My phone is always on silent, and maybe I need to. Now it's gonna really go off. Check my phone just so I know that I'm not missing anything as far as updates. Okay. It's gonna go off like crazy now that I've took the ringer off.
We'll say, okay, tell us what you know so that we can give context and we won't prosecute you. As long, and mind you, don't have to look that much or that far back. Take a look at the Diddy prosecution. There were a lot of people who a year ago in federal court, when they were prosecuting him, said, how come they're not indicting other people, prosecuting other people? Well, it was because a lot of those people agreed under immunity grants or just cooperate to give information that was inculpatory of him. And I suppose the same thing is happening here. It's a page right out of the prosecutorial playbook.
So there's a preliminary hearing that's supposed to take place today, and you've been in a number of these high-profile cases. Often there is delay. A lot of people thought this thing wasn't going to happen this morning. What's your expectation here in terms of how fast this will get to trial, and does it benefit the prosecution or the defense if there are numerous delays and this gets stretched out even further?
So one of the things that I think the prosecution expected is they did what I like to affectionately call a document dump on the defense. They gave them all kinds of terabytes of information. I remember when I didn't even know what a terabyte was. And they gave that information to the defense with the expectation, like in the Reiner case, that the defense would just say, basically, hey, we need more time. We can't digest all of this. The defense did something very, I think, sharp here. And they said, well, that's fine. We're ready for our preliminary hearing. Wow. We're not waiving time. And I think that the ball is.
So apparently, by the way, for those that don't know, D4VD David is with in the Nick Reiner facility as well. Okay. Did you guys hear about this? I heard this yesterday that he's actually in the facility that Nick Reiner is in. So I don't know if they're buddies or what. Okay. Just letting you know.
Back in the prosecutor's court, I think you may see the prosecutors now struggling with the idea, do we allow this or go forward in a preliminary hearing that's open to the public where we have people testifying or the officer testifying, or do we go run back to the grand jury and get an indictment because we're truly not ready here? I tend to suspect that they're going to go and at least try to do some, I would call it legal shenanigans. Others would say they would exercise what they're doing and go back to the grand jury, because I don't think the prosecution is ready to parade this case out. And the defense is holding their feet to the fire.
Hold up, friends. Thank you, Madison. Check this out. Prosecutors on D4VD phone full of child things, material. Oh my God. Anybody surprised? Phone was full of child material. Thank you, Flo Joe. No. Thank you, Madison. Go figure. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. Now, was it just Celeste? Was it other children? D4VD's iPhone contained tons of child CSAM stuff, at least according to the prosecutors. Apparently, they're getting the information from the prosecutors. The singer was in court Thursday, exactly 1 year to the day when prosecutors claim he murdered Celeste, for a status hearing on his upcoming preliminary hearing, which a judge set for May 1st. So, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, you speechless? I mean, I'm not, because he was dealing with the child, so I don't know. You said when people tell you who they are, believe them. Well, damn. Okay, so this is what they say that they found, but this is what the prosecutor is saying. So exactly 1 year to the day when prosecutors claim he murdered Celeste for a status hearing on his upcoming preliminary hearing with which a judge set for May 1st. During the hearing, prosecutors claimed that they went through his phone and found significant amount of the material. Okay, so they're in the hearing and they're listening to this. It's unclear if the alleged CP features Celeste. D4VD was shackled and wore an orange jail jumpsuit. He was calm, cool, collected, and looked kind of bored. He spoke briefly to the judge, telling her yes, ma'am, as she explained to him how the preliminary works. Okay, this is in the hearing. D4VD's high-powered defense team, led by Blair Burke, told the judge prosecutors had not turned over their evidence, and LA County Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman explained the delay. Okay. Ooh, I bet it got spicy in there. As we reported, D4VD pled not guilty earlier this week, and his defense challenged the DA to put their cards on the table or fold, demanding an immediate preliminary hearing. Prosecutors said in court Thursday they will be ready for next week's prelim, and they want to go to trial within 60 days too. D4VD was arrested by LAPD last Thursday. We know why. Oh, wow. Check your phone. All right, hold up. No updates yet, guys. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for Becky to text me, or hold up. I think this is Becky. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to wait for Becky. I think this is what they were talking about in the hearing. So we're going to wait for Becky to hit the link, and hopefully she'll give us the scoop, okay? You said, I'm not going to be able to sit in courtroom. Jesus. Can you imagine not being able to bring your phone, though? I'd be like, oh, my God, I can't bring my phone. That's crazy work. So that is the news, guys. For those that are coming through, apparently they're in the prelim hearing. And they heard that that D4VD David had a lot of material. Okay, I gotta be careful because Baby Bunny's coming in and out. But you guys are on my headphones. Let me move here. The chief was interviewed yesterday. If you did not watch this, I'm gonna wait and see if I get another message as these ladies are leaving the courtroom.
Here to talk all about that. Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Want to start with the David case. We've been talking about this. He's been charged with murdering 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, currently segregated from the other inmates, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. You know, first, our thoughts go out to the family for what they've had to endure, family of Ms. Rivas. Yeah. It's horrible to even imagine what they've been through for the last year.
Did you meet with them?
I personally have not. Our detectives have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what have they, I'm sure it's been a long, confusing process. Yeah. I can't imagine what they're going through.
You know, a lot of speculation because of the notoriety of the case. You know, so many people come up with their own ideas of what happened or didn't happen. And some of it was so far off the mark through the middle months of this in particular. And, you know, the family, while it may be entertainment for some, the family, it's certainly not. It's something very, very serious. And, you know, I think we all need to take a step back on some of these major cases and let the process work its way through. Our detectives did a tremendous amount of work on this under very, very difficult circumstances and ended up being criticized for not making an arrest fast enough.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. I think, you know, this case is getting a lot of attention, not only because it is a singer and famous to many people, but also she was just 13 when she left her house and then murdered at 14 when she was just 14 years old. And it took 7 months after her body was found for him to be charged. And a lot of people are wondering, why did it take so long?
Yeah, you know, there's an awful lot that goes into you know, to the investigation. The state of the body when it was found was you know, degraded, decomposed, and
so the chief did this interview yesterday. You know, he doesn't do a lot of interviews, so that was interesting that happened yesterday. Celeste would have hold up. Where's my phone? Did I drop? Hold up, y'all. My phone disappeared. He can be sentenced to death. However, California has a moratorium on the death. Yeah, but I think that I don't know if the person is still, that could very well change. We just don't know, honestly. You know, TMZ probably hired someone to go in the phone, and they said not to bring cameras. Well, they got this information from the hearing. So there is something. So in the hearing, apparently it was said, hold up now, my phone. Oh, it's on the floor. In the hearing, apparently it was said that D4VD had child CSAM in there, okay? Material. And that, okay, no, they have not messaged me, so they don't have their phones back. As soon as we get their phones, we're going to get Becky, see if we can get her in here. Hold up. Okay, Sylvia says that they're out. Perfect. Okay. I heard that he had, hold up, guys. Let me text Sylvia. I heard that he had child material in the iPhone. We live now. I'm telling the chat to tell me to check my phone. I'm telling the chat to tell me to check my phone. Let's see, because so next court date is May 1st, guys. Next court date is May 1st. You say with the aggravating factors, he could also get life without parole. There you go. Next court date, May 1st, guys. Put it on your calendars. Damn. May 1st? That's like, hold up, guys. Friday. That's like next week. Hold up. Let me know. You said not long. Do you guys wonder if you ever did anything to us? Oh, Lord. You said, oh, they didn't make it? Oh, oh no. It was too full. It was too full, she says. Oh, they didn't allow them in? What happened? They said it was not a preliminary hearing. There's that. Hold up. I'm going to wait to hear back from Becky and see what she tells us too. Okay? It will be continuous. That's right. Hold up, guys. I'm checking my phone. We saw Steve in there too. So Steve Fisher was in the hearing too, guys. Next Friday, so it's going to continue. I was like, oh, okay. So they went to the hearing and they couldn't keep it going. They extended the preliminary hearing. First Liberties, I'm going to drop the link if you want to come up, because apparently we have a hearing on the 1st and that might be the preliminary. It was a status hearing. Gotcha. See, I heard it was well, that's what we were told. So they weren't ready. That's what they said. They weren't ready to move forward. Yeah, 1 year ago today, David invited Celeste over and she was never seen again. So it became a status hearing. Okay, it was a status hearing. Thank you. Even though we were told it was going to be a preliminary hearing. Gotcha. Joe, it says that your devices are not connected. Hold up. Joe, your device is not connected. I don't know if he hears me. Joe, your device is not connected. Hold up. Okay. Are you here?
What about now?
Yeah, I hear you
What
now.
about- All right.
Do you
So I
hear me
showed
now?
up just at the best part. Well, I showed up just as you pulled up that headline. Wow.
So wait a minute. We were told there was going to be a preliminary hearing today. Now we're hearing that it's not. It's a status.
Preliminary stage, then pre-trial. Right. Bottom line, it's all different phases of the same shit. Little pieces of evidence are going to keep coming forward, over and over for different reasons.
Yeah.
And now today, if what they're saying is true, well, now we understand how they proved the relationship was going back to 2023, since they named, well, it sounded like, DA said that it was Celeste that was involved with him dating back to 2023. And now witness during an investigation is still the part I'm looking for. I'm guessing he was actually already under investigation for exactly this.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now it was a status hearing, and we're hearing in the status hearing that this guy had a lot of child, material on his iPhone.
I know. I saw the headline. I read the whole thing. No, he's like I said. So it looks like they were photographing, possibly making videos of the relationship, and that's all they need. So that's what the continuous abuse means. To meet that definition,
Oh my God.
first off, he needs continuous access to her. She wasn't living with him, so that's where continuous access comes from. He's going over to her, or she's frequently going to him somehow, one way or another. Then you have 3 or more acts within a 3-month period, and then it just keeps going from there. So dating back, what they say, September 2023 up until April 23rd, 2025. Well, you don't look
Gotcha.
like you're taking this well at all.
Me? I'm listening. I'm like, it took me a minute for the coffee to hit. Listen, I was going from 90,000 to 9,000, and now the
Right.
coffee has hit. So I'm like, my ADHD it's like I got a
I don't
calculator
think it was
noting
the
everything.
coffee. I think it was the news. That's the kind of news that wakes you up.
Yeah, that does, especially when you have children and you think about somebody
Mm.
having any kind of material on their phone. Like, what the actual F is that? But I mean, am I surprised by it? No, because she was a minor. So, and then we're hearing, I don't know, this isn't also, these might be other victims, but it's been said that there's other victims. And I'm wondering, well, where's their charges too, right? Like, I know that they can't
They
add
have
one or
to
the
get
two, but
proof. So no witnesses can't come forward if they're not authenticated. I meant to make a video about this. I haven't gotten home in days. That's why I haven't done anything. But
Gotcha.
witnesses have to be authenticated. And that means we need to know not just who this witness is, where were you when these allegations took place, or what are the allegations? Where were you when these allegations took place? Why should we believe this witness? We don't let any and all persons with a story just come forward and tell the court anything. When you swear or affirm to tell the truth, that's not for any and all things. It's not for your truth. It's not for your story. It's only for the statements that relate to the evidence that they actually have. So we need to hear from these other girls. Somebody's got to go figure it out. Where were you when this happened? If this even happened, they're going to be examined too. So for all we know, it's coming. So it's just going to be a little while. As far as I know, we just got this information.
Gotcha. Yeah, and it sounds like it was somebody directly from TMZ in the courtroom where they heard all of this. So my goodness, man, are you at all like surprised, shocked? What are your thoughts about everything?
No, I'm really not. I don't know. I've been through a few things in life. I just don't have the same reactions other people do, I guess. It shouldn't be, given the overall circumstances, it shouldn't be surprising. It wasn't the most credible story. He was 20 at the time. She was 14. It's not like 20 and 16. Maybe she lied. There was evidence they knew each other back when she was 12 and he was 18. It was just the way it added up. It wasn't a credible story the way the evidence was adding up to me. And even for somebody like me who thoroughly believes that you presume innocence at all times until you see all the evidence yourself, it's just not a credible defense.
Gotcha.
At this point, especially.
Now you have this is the LA Times, guys. The LA Times, thank you for, I told you guys we have a subscription. They say D4VD cell phone contained the child stuff prosecutors in LA murder case say. Now, cell phone belonging to David, better known as D4VD, apparently contains significant amount of child things. The Los Angeles County Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman made the claims during a court proceeding to schedule a preliminary hearing on murder charges. Now, again, this was you said there was something that you added to the preliminary hearing. There was some other verbiage. What did you say?
We have preliminary and then pre-trial and then trial. Yeah, it's just all different phases, different hearings for different reasons. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
The status hearing. Are we still moving forward? Yeah, we're moving forward. Look what they got.
Look what they got. Proceeding is scheduled preliminary hearing on Monday. Excuse me. So Los Angeles. So she made this claim they're proceeding to schedule a preliminary hearing on murder charges in, of course, the murder of Celeste. The images were uncovered as part of a broad series of search warrants executed on Burke's phone and iCloud. So it's on his phone and his iCloud. Hey, there's an echo. If you want to mute yourself real
Yeah,
quick,
give
Joe.
me a moment.
Thank you. You're fine. I can mute you too, but let me know. Burke's attorneys have insisted he is innocent and is demanding a preliminary hearing beginning next week, meaning evidence in the closely followed case could become public as soon as May 1st. Oh my God. He appeared in court Thursday in an orange jumpsuit, which we talked about that, with hands in his pocket. A status hearing was set for April 29th. So we have the status hearing on the 29th, and then we have the prelim on the 1st. Okay. Burke was arrested. We know the details. Hold up. Let me see. The DA, of course, is alleging that she threatened to expose his criminal conduct and devastate his musical career. This is why they feel like there's motive there. I'm going to go down a little bit more. Hernandez's badly decomposed body was found in the trunk. We know this. Okay. So that's what we have so far, guys, just so people are aware. So 2 calendar dates, actually. April 29th is a status hearing, and May 1st is the prelim. I think I got that right, Flo? Not Flo, Joe. Right, Joe?
Yeah, I'm the other one. So yeah, he's getting the speedy trial he wants. Now, for those of you wondering, well, what is he going to do next? Remember, the lawyer said he's not responsible for the death. She didn't say anything about all this other shit. And good chance he probably didn't say anything. And he's probably still going to try stuff like, well, it wasn't my phone. Well, first off, it's your ass in the photos. So let's not even bother with that. Next, even if it's not his phone, if he had access to it, then that's what matters here too. It's not just about whose name is on the phone or on the service. It's about who had access to it.
Sylvia was kind enough to.
So yeah, if he had access to it, that's really what matters. Never mind whether or not it's his phone, but did he have access to it? Apparently, yes. That's why we're here.
So she's only defending him for the murder. She's not defending him for the material, correct? That's what we're saying.
Oh no, she's defending everything. Just like I was talking about yesterday. First off, is it really him? Or actually, I have to back up a minute because we don't actually know exactly what's on those images. The TMZ didn't say it was her and him. They just said
child material.
Was in possession of materials. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah. Well, just like I was saying yesterday, if the warrant was defective, yeah, you can actually get that evidence dismissed. I shit you not. Even something this serious.
Joe, let me mute you real quick because I think she's got somebody. Hold up.
I'm here at the courthouse.
Give me 1 second, Joe.
Trying to let the DA know I'm not dead. I know everybody thought I died in 2008. Oh, baby, give me one more chance. Now, I am alive and well. The case started in UCLA in 2009, where I was drugged by Dr. Conrad Murray.
Okay,
and, he was charged for
sorry about that. I thought this was somebody that was going to tell us about the case, and she put someone.
He's peddling his album. Yeah, well, I don't know what the hell that is.
Sorry. I was like, wait. He said he's MJ? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So yeah, that's his only defense that I can see. If that's him in it, and if it really is him and her, that's his only constitutional defense, that the warrant was wrongfully issued. Okay. And yes, even for evidence like that, it can be thrown out. For those of you struggling with that, those are all Fourth Amendment rules. If you throw out the Fourth Amendment rules, we're also going to see police officers strip searching people out in the streets. That's also restricted by the Fourth Amendment. Okay. And it's going to be mainly women, and now obviously more kids that are going to be the ones strip searched out in the streets. So there are reasons these laws are written. The government is supposed to be inconvenienced, and that's actually to protect everybody. It protects the innocent as well. The innocent and the guilty have the same rights. The difference is there's evidence of somebody's guilt, and that's when we lock them up.
Gotcha. I'm going to unmute Becky real quick, see what she's got to tell us, okay? 1 second.
In Los Angeles, California, they have to take an HIV AIDS test. It doesn't mean that you have it, because there was secondary. It's required, and that was.
We got to get Becky a shirt mic.
Guys, I'm doing 3 lives, sorry. So on this one, let's see, the one with the HIV. Go ahead. Okay, so just give me credit. And then go over there and hit the mic and grab it.
Rabbit hole news, y'all. So this is from the
down
first,
the rabbit
down the
hole
rabbit hole
news.
news.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's the nice lady who helped me out, y'all. You want to say hi to people?
Hi, people.
Hold on. It's the nice lady who gave me everything that I was reading to y'all.
Hi, guys. I'm the nice lady.
She is. I got to get the name again. You said
Pinche Becky.
Pinche
Zero
Becky.
F.
Zero F
Given
gift
is my
on me.
channel. And I'm doing the coverage and the paperwork for Down the Rabbit Hole News.
Okay.
Check her out. She's wonderful. And that's why, I would have come anyways, but because she's such a great friend.
Yes.
And creator, we decided to give her our coverage.
My bad, not a shit mic, a shirt mic. Y'all know what I mean. We need to get Becky a mic.
Conviction of this offense will require the court to order you to submit to a blood test for evidence of antibodies.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's really to
This is bro who I was with, y'all.
What's good, y'all?
I was with. We was in here.
you so
They told us
much.
we couldn't go in. We were like, yeah, they're like, yeah, it's cool. So we just waited for him to slide out.
Is she doing autographs?
Like,
No, she's showing paperwork.
That's Ninja.
She's showing paperwork. So she was given paperwork from the court about D4VD having to submit to an HIV test or something like that. And I think that's people were asking about why is he having to submit to an HIV test? That's protocol. That's standard, right?
Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of the sentencing. He's going to have to submit. Now, even though if the evidence of the death is as strong as we think, he's doing life. At least he's doing life without parole. They're still gonna do it. Because there's still also this possibility something goes wrong at trial. Maybe he really didn't do it, or the evidence sucked, and he wins an appeal. So then, let's say the life without parole sentence is scrapped. Well, then you still have all this other stuff we're talking about today. He would still have his DNA on the registry, and he's still going to have to register as an offender. But he's doing at least 16 years for that alone.
Oh, okay. So just so people are aware, let me see what else she's saying. Hold up, y'all.
It's for tomorrow.
They got the press conference mics out there. Are we expecting a press conference? Because we didn't think we were going to have a press conference. Do you see that? Are we doing one or not? We waited for I don't know how many hours on Monday.
Yeah, maybe mom is going to speak today. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna unmute Becky. Shout out to Becky.
TMZ, and we kind of help each other navigate through this. There's more social media creators. Again, we're giving all the credit to Rabbit.
Shout out to Becky. Shout out to Becky, guys. Hey, you know what, Joe? Let me go see if anybody else is reporting a presser. Okay, so I'm gonna play this.
Sure.
To see what happens in the courtroom. I am not. I repeat, I am not a reporter, so I'm just here to gather the news. That's it. Now we're just gonna wait and see if they have a news conference. As you can see, LA is full of many adventures and lots of characters and lots of personalities, and that's what I like about it. That's why I love it. I smashed my like button so hard that I broke my phone. True story.
Yeah, I don't hear anything yet. We'll still keep we'll stay on it maybe for I'll stay on definitely for sure. So just for people are asking me about SF's tweet, it says that this is what he wrote on Twitter. The D4VD preliminary hearing has continued until May 1st. Matters of procedural importance were discussed today, mostly about transferring discovery from DA's office to the defense. Items of interest that came up included that D4VD's devices contain a significant amount of that material. Oh, hold up. Which required special handling. Also, there's a large amount of data from a wiretap. Joe, First Liberties, a wiretap. Search warrants will be unsealed. Oh my God. Joe, you called this Monday. You called this on
Yeah.
Monday. You said there's gonna be a wiretap. Oh my, you predicted, well, you didn't predict this, but you know how this shit works. New search
Well, yeah.
warrants from devices at the time of his arrest have not had returned yet. Hold up, this is a typo here. Warrants from devices at the time of his arrest have not had returns yet. Okay, hold up. David did not look confident in court today, in my opinion. He was in an orange jumpsuit. You called this. You called this. Say
Yeah.
more. Y'all, he
Okay.
called this.
This is what happened. Narcotics division was part of the arrest, but remember, this case went to robbery homicide initially, right? So now we're seeing all this evidence as it added up. But when I heard that narcotics division was there, two possibilities: they could just be sharing resources, that's normal, or they were already surveilling him with a warrant. What's in the federal system, they're called necessity warrants. We have a similar thing in California. Basically, you only issue these warrants if you can't get an undercover officer, if you can't penetrate that inner circle, he's too locked tight, or other investigative means would not have worked. Then the judge will agree to the surveillance warrant, so they can monitor, they can wiretap, they can monitor his calls, his text messages. So that's why I was wondering why this arrest moved forward. They had to have heard something new that we still don't even know about. And under those warrants, they have to report to a judge every 10 days. And the instant you tell the judge as an officer that you no longer hear any evidence of this illegal activity, the warrant stops. Now here's also another thing. Well, you have to prove it to a judge. They're supposed to provide transcripts and such. But anyway, that's what I was listening for, because they were already watching him. So they were already watching him. They had a legal reason to watch him. They had evidence of some kind of illegal, some kind of criminal activity to even entertain this warrant. And then, like I said, because he's such a lockdown individual, he's isolated from everybody. The only way they were going to listen in to anything he had to say had to be through the surveillance warrant. So that's what I was listening for. That's going to be really big, because that seems like whatever they heard is the reason the arrest happened. So take that, Garagos. It's not because LAPD rushed it to send it to the DA, because that would be stupid. Because an illegal arrest voids the proceedings going forward. And then, in fact, that's what I was wondering today, because if the arrest sucked, instead of calling for 40 terabytes of grand jury transcripts or 40 terabytes of data altogether, but instead of calling for the transcripts, they should have been cross-examining the cops and trying to prove this was an unlawful arrest. They didn't do that. So they didn't do that because they didn't have the gotcha. When you cross-examine people, you're only supposed to ask questions when you really know the answer. And basically you're guessing. Sometimes witnesses make things up and you don't have the way to call them out. But this would have been the time to do it, just to prove that the cops didn't have a legal basis for the arrest. And at very least, he would have walked. You could have still gotten the grand jury indictment later, but he at least would have been out of jail for now. So this is, yeah, like I said, this is what I was talking about. Something new happened. So we still don't even have, we don't 3 charges, right? How many charges do you face? 3, 4, 5? I forgot. Because I know we have the first degree, the special circumstances is, that's related to the homicide. So then, whatever the case, it sounds like we learned something new. We just don't know what that is yet. So when those warrants come out, then we're going to know.
Okay, real quick, hold up. Let me see. And to count again: first degree murder, continuous essay of a child, mutilating human remains. Okay, so that's 3 counts that we know of. And then, how come they won't charge him for? Are they going to charge him for that CP stuff that they found on his phone? And then the other question. Shout out to Mar. Sorry, I'm late. Super chats. Mar asks, I believe they can still change the death penalty in cases the law changes in California in the future. They don't grandfather, do they? I don't know how that works.
Is that what he's asking? Like, if you were already scheduled going forward? Well, right now there's a moratorium. That's what it is. So the state prisons are controlled by the executive office. The governor gave an order that nobody is to be executed. So no state prison can execute. that can change with the next governor, because he can just simply lift that moratorium, and anybody who's scheduled to be executed any of that will move forward from here.
Okay. Gotcha. Wow. See, you that wiretapping. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to you for Celebrities Podcast. Make sure you guys check out his channel. Wealth of Knowledge. He called this on. You called this on Monday. You said
Yeah.
that this is what was going on.
Yeah, I've
Oh
been
my
looking for this
God.
ever since, because like I said, if they don't justify this arrest, he walks from here. It wouldn't void the grand jury investigation. That's still separate. They could still seek an indictment that way. Two separate things, but still he would have walked right now if this arrest wasn't lawful. So then, yeah, like I said, they just have to wait, see if the grand jury does vote to indict. And we're still waiting on the Burke family in Texas. Now, that makes me wonder even more, what the hell could you possibly have to add? If they have everything in writing, or if they have direct evidence that he has these illegal images or videos on his phone, well, what the hell do these guys have to add? Or maybe it's not related to any of this. Maybe it's related to narcotics. Like I said, the narcotics division was monitoring him.
That is insane. Hold up. Yes, I will drop for Celebrity Podcast link in the chat in a minute. Hold up. Let me see what else is being said. Give me one sec. I'm gonna unmute her for a minute, and let me look. I'm gonna look for your channel again. I thought I linked it, but I didn't. Give me one second.
Oh, hold on, guys. Okay, no new conference. All right. No news conference. Hold on, let me see if I can make some connections, because I've been telling you. So no news conference, guys? Is that what they said?
Nothing.
I couldn't hear her. Are they not going to come out? And I couldn't hear what he said. I guess not. Hold on. Yeah, guys. I'm not. Oh, there you go.
Do you want to explain what wiretapping is? Some people are asking, what is wiretapping? First Liberties, do you hear me? Do you want to explain what wiretapping is? They're disconnecting their mics. I don't think there's going to be a press conference. Hold up. Let me see. Yeah, they're taking their mics home, guys.
You know, I like to network, right? So. I'm currently working that out. Actually, guys, this is a sassafras outfit. When I was, when I was at my was all that happened. It was sassafras. She went and she got me dressed.
Yeah, so yes, is First Liberties, can you hear me? I don't know. He like is muted or something. Oh, can you hear me?
I just
people,
so the reverb doesn't happen.
Oh, thank you. By the way, people in the chat want to know like what is wiretapping? If you can explain what wiretapping is to there's just some people asking, what is wiretapping?
So it's a warrant to get a digital device and actually surveil his phone. They're going to listen to conversations. They can get text messages through it. They are going to monitor his calls. They could listen in on, let's say if they have other devices to listen in. They get a warrant basically to listen in where privacy is expected. So when that's the basic rule when it comes to Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment and warrants, where there's a reasonable expectation of privacy, the government has a higher burden before government can break that privacy. If the government sees something through the window, that's not private. If the government can see it, the cops walking by, the cops can jump in the window, kick in the door, whatever they have to do. But assuming this whole place is sealed, there's a higher burden on the government. So that's basically what it comes down to. They could also be intercepting electronics like emails, other text messages, if he's talking to people on PlayStation, by example. So whatever they know is attached to his name, they are going to find a way to monitor it and get a transcript for the court. Or they could get recordings too. The bottom line, they have been listening to his digital communications for X amount of time. I have no idea how long though. So that's the stuff we have to wait for. Possibly, maybe we'll learn something on May 1st. But yeah, we have to wait until those warrants are unsealed before we actually hear anything.
So Discord,
is she spinning?
Discord calls. I think she ended her stream, which is fine. We're gonna watch it because there's some stuff that was said in the beginning. But I want to tell you, Discord calls, and then I also want to tell you something that was said too. Hold up 1 minute. So Steve has also put a couple of items of interest from D4VD's hearing this morning. The assistant district attorney confirmed there were 3 separate investigative grand juries convened in November of 2025, December 2025, and February 2026. She also stated that the defense would need to provide a 10 terabyte drive for David's iCloud account alone. Additional search warrants were served on phones, tablets, and other devices at the time of David's arrest. Three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the Los Angeles County, they're supposed to convene annually. They basically they can't keep a grand jury as a grand jury for longer than 1 year, so they get new ones. But yeah, a total of 3. The Los Angeles County can get 2, or they can actually get 2 or more if they wanted. That's something that the law affords specifically to the LA County and I think San Bernardino. Why exactly? I don't know. I don't know the legislative history. I just know that happens.
So when they do this, they're are they presenting the case all over again to 3 different, I'm thinking like groups of people, 3 different sets of groups of people?
We'd have to see exactly what they're bringing forward to know. This could be, like I said, this could be a new investigation. This could be a continuance. Some of it could be a continuance from the last one. We got to wait from the see. It's supposed to be a secret because grand juries, they're intentionally confidential because I live in California. Me and the other Joe live in California. Becky's all, we're all in California, right? Theoretically, we could be on camera with this guy. We don't know what's going on. But if our faces come up in a photo, we look bad because this is necessarily a criminal investigation. I've never met this guy. I didn't know who the hell he was until he got caught fucking up. So that's why all this is confidential. And over time, they filter out the irrelevant stuff. And that's part of protecting everybody else's good name. So this is necessarily confidential all the way through until the government, there's going to be back and forth between the state and the defense over what's relevant. But that's why it's protected until trial. So we don't look like criminals and we never met this guy.
Oh my God. So wiretapping, Discord calls can be wiretapped, right? PlayStation calls, everything, phone, like everything can be wiretapped. Social media?
I don't know of anything that can't be. But yeah, and that's another thing. Anything that was deleted previously, they will other warrants to call that out. But for wiretapping, they should be listening into him live. So that's why I was saying they had to have been listening to him, heard something new on, what was he arrested? The 20th? No, the 18th, right?
The
18th or 17th?
No, the 7th. It was a Thursday. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my calendar. Hold up. It was
last
Thursday. Yeah, last Thursday. So that was the 23rd? No.
Yeah. So
the 16th?
But no, yeah, it was something like that. It's 16, 17, or 18. Bottom line, sometime recently, LAPD heard something new and moved in on him, and now everything else is being forced on the defense lawyer.
That is interesting. So when they reconvene 3 different grand juries, I mean, I'm because the way that maybe it's because of the way this was reported, the grand jury met in November. No, there was 3 different grand juries that met November, December, and February. These are 3 different times, correct? Not like the same people that met in November met again in December. Am I hearing that correctly?
I don't remember when California actually orders this grand jury to organize. So I don't have an immediate answer to that one, but it should be the same people unless that time is expired, and then they have to get a new grand jury.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, even today, just learning all this, was there anything yesterday when we read the report that just kind of like stood out to you or anything like that? That like
Well,
anything that you went thinking
honestly,
about?
just the misery that she would have gone through. It sounds like there were only two puncture wounds, right? It's only 2 stabs
Two
that they could
stabs. That's what
identify.
they said. But so
Yeah,
that's
so
what do you think she bled? Like we were asking that. Did she bleed out
yeah,
to death?
that's what I'm thinking. She bled out, and then remember they had the presumptive positive for the first test, right? I don't know. Flojo, remember he's a nurse. He seemed a little bit thrown off by it too, but he said that wasn't abnormal. But I'm just wondering, what did they do? Did they spike this girl's drink, and then they went with the knife? Or like, I don't know. That's the stuff we're not going to know. I don't think this is one of those things he would have put on video. Seems like he
Yeah,
put
no.
everything else out there. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it is out there and they just never found it.
It gives me the idea that she fought. Like she would have been able to fight. You know, she's somebody that probably would have. If you think about when they put that video out on the Sureños, remember when she was
Yeah, I
arguing
remember
with
that.
the Sureños
Yeah, she
back
was
and forth?
fighting them.
She was I mean, she was feisty, she was mouthy, like any other child at that age, right? So to me, it's like they would have had to maybe sedate her or make her something so she wouldn't have, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Remember, Joe said it was like a basic 10-point test for these
Yeah.
substances. Really, what stands out to me is just the 2 stabs. It just seems like she bled out, and then he found the time to dismember the body.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Do you want to hang out while I play this Becky video? Because I'm wondering what happened at the very beginning, if there was anything that she was able to capture. Because it doesn't sound like they were able to get in the court. They tried because it was full, but they went outside and there is no press conference, guys. The guys took their mics home. Let's see what they say.
You know what? You guys better watch it because next time you guys come, they're gonna be like, oh,
You guys have such a cool job.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, this is really cool.
What are you guys here?
Republic.
No, we're attorneys.
Oh,
Yeah, no, we actually are.
oh, I need to put your ring then. Wait, hold on. Come on, public defender.
Wait, how long are you going to be here?
2 minutes. Well, do you want to come back and do
Yeah, I
this?
need to come back.
Okay, but I want to get some.
Wait, let me get your,
I don't even have a
Yeah.
I have a channel.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's Pinche Becky. I mean,
Pinche Becky.
Pinche Becky 0 give it. She can give it to you and wrap it down the whole.
I'll be back here in like 15 minutes.
I think that help me. Girl, we're making connections. Okay, so sorry guys. These were some public defenders, nothing to do with the case. So we didn't get in. I got here a little late. You know, my son came first. So, but the prelim, the hearing got postponed, and it was postponed May 1st. I hope there's not too much wind all of a sudden. Now we got wind. It looks like it feels like rain. It was supposed to be close to the 80s. Anyways, there is tons of media now. So even though we got there first, they were allowing media and not the general public. So the next time, I guess I'm gonna be here. I have to be here. It's gonna be May 1st. It was moved to May 1st. Welcome in, everyone. And that's all that happened. It was postponed to May 1st, which we kind of knew that it was going to happen. Too much information. Oh, guys, is it too much? Is it too windy? Right now, we're waiting for, I guess, another press conference. Today was just the day from hell. I got here a little later. They made me take my phone out of my case because you have to lock it and I guess it's just the floor that we're on is, I guess that's where the real hardcore cases, murder cases, are heard. So on my way to the elevator, I was trying to put the case back in, and Sylvia was kind enough to hold the elevator. So I'm rushing to the elevator. What happens? Boom, my phone lands on the elevator floor, and of course it cracked, because why the hell not? We have been meeting quite a few people here. We have been meeting quite a few people here. TMZ, yeah, TMZ is somewhere up there.
Okay, my name is Michael Jackson.
You're Michael Jackson?
Yes, I've been missing since 2008.
You've been missing since
Yes.
2008.
Oh my God.
They thought I died, as you said.
Okay, so let me stop right here. It doesn't look like we have any new news. That was when we stopped Joe, the Michael Jackson stuff. I was like, who is that?
I was missing, and then I made a movie.
I know, right? I'm missing, and then I'm back. I'm back here. Oh my God, this is insane. Oh wow.
So what is the crowd feeling? You have something like 2,000 people down there, right? What are they feeling? How are they reacting?
Well, where do you guys have any questions for First Liberties podcast? You know, our legal eagle. A lot of information. Can I call you that? Are you okay if I call you the legal eagle?
Just call me Joe.
Is that like
just call me Joe. I know I'm a simple guy. It's just just call me Joe. That's easy. But
okay.
So
Not
you're
to be
going
confused with Flo Joe, right? Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, he's the first Joe. But anyway, well, yeah, it is a lot to take in. The May 1st hearing, like I said, I hope they unseal some of the warrants by then.
Yeah.
Like I said, because there is so much going on, 40 terabytes. That does say to me there will be continuances, so there will be delays. So not every trial, or excuse me, not every hearing going forward is going to be on time. We're going to have to face a few delays here and there. I still want to know if he wishes for this to be a speedy trial. It looks like he thinks he can beat this somehow. I don't know what the hell he's thinking, but if that's really him, and we still don't know what that evidence is, because my understanding is when it comes to digital evidence, they don't always have the actual photo, but they have also these files that they can read. And I don't know enough. I'm not a digital expert at all. I don't know how they interpret those. Like if they can use that to recover the original image. If somebody else has any insight to that, say something in the chat, please. Keep this going. But yeah, if they got him, they got him. You know, that's not a crime of intent. That's also another thing. Yes. Most crimes are crimes of intent. That's why when you receive your jury instructions, you're going to see there's an instruction they get about the union of act and intent. So you have your guilty state of mind and your guilty actions. And something like this, it's just the guilty action. There is no question of intent. If you committed the guilty action, you're just guilty. So either this stuff happened or it didn't. Now, when it comes to the homicide, that's different. Proving, especially when you're talking first degree, you're talking about an organized plan of attack. So if the jury doesn't hear an organized plan of attack, they're not going to buy it.
Yeah. So real quick, and by the way, so because I'm looking at the Times, right, the LA Times, and they said a status hearing is set for April 29th, and then we have the prelim on the 1st. So the status hearing, there is a hearing on the 29th, and then there's another one. The one that we're waiting for is on the 1st.
Yeah, is this moving to prelim? Yeah, this bottom line, this is going to trial. It looks like LAPD did really well. Beth Silverman and her team did really well. So at very least, we are going to see this man go to trial. I think because of the large public interest, we'll probably see this streamed. I don't know. It also could depend because usually California courts don't allow the cameras, and I don't remember any of them dealing with a minor. So I honestly don't know. But I would think that because of the public interest, we'll see it online. Yeah.
It's giving that. I learned today, not child prawn, since kids cannot consent. The correct verbiage is CSAM. That's right. Thank you. It's the verbiage that we want everybody to adapt, even media, right? The child material. It's more of a technical.
You know, whether say one or the other, it doesn't matter. Okay, this is why consent doesn't work. The consent is invalid. She's competent enough to consent. She's competent enough to buy a soda at a gas station. That doesn't matter in this case. It's just the consent is invalid because she's not at the age. So it's nothing to fight about. There's a victim. There's evidence. There's a suspect. That's really what people should be looking to. I don't like fighting over.
But we don't know if that material is on her, though, right? Like, we don't know if that's
seems
this could
like
be
it.
Material on another child or other children.
Could be. It could be, but the charges so far didn't say that. Now,
Yeah.
it did say the continuous abuse of the minor. Didn't identify who that is. So, yeah, I guess at this point we could say it was actually someone other than Celeste. We could speculate that right now, but the DA did say implicated that Celeste was the witness in the investigation. So based on that, it seemed to imply he was already under investigation for exactly that. And now we have the first degree charge. Now we have the mutilation, and now who knows what the hell this is now. The new arrest. Like I said, narcotics was involved. We still don't know if they were just sharing resources or if this really is a narcotics arrest.
Interesting. That is so interesting. Okay, gotcha. All right, hold up. Now let me see. Let me see what else was posted. Because guys, there is no press conference for those that are coming through right now. There is no press conference right now. There's nothing that we know of. So they did set up the mics thinking that there was going to be one, but other than that, that's it. The most significant piece of news that we found out was that there was a phone, iCloud, and the iCloud and the iPhone in David's possession apparently had, child CSAM, child material. And we don't know if it would belong. We don't know if it was Celeste or if there was other or what exactly that material looked like. That's all that we know. We also found out about wiretapping that was going on, which is what First Liberty's podcast have called out, that this is probably something that was going on for quite some time. But other than that, that's it. What else did we find out today? We have a status hearing on the 29th, and then we have the prelim on the 1st. We had the chief of police talk yesterday about kind of where they were at with this case. Other than that, that's really the updates that we have. Anything else that I missed? Let me know in the chat if I miss anything else. I mean, there's just so much information that has been released since the report yesterday. And I don't know if you knew this, First Liberties, but the family found out how she died, or at least what happened to her, I think, with everybody, like yesterday. Like, they weren't contacted personally to talk about it before it was released to the media. Did you know
that makes sense? That makes sense to me.
Oh,
everything was under seal.
Everything was so it would have been nice for the family to have been contacted before they.
No, just same thing. For in the interest of justice, no, she was not going to be informed. Remember, Beth Silverman touched on this. One of the benefits of locking all this down is to keep witnesses from changing their stories, because they don't know what happened. I don't even know if they know exactly where it happened. They seem to think it happened at one of his houses, because that was the last time she was known to be alive. For everything else, they don't know. They don't want witnesses making things up because of public facts. So that's why they lock these things down as much as possible. So it doesn't surprise me, because, like I said, and they don't even know her involvement. Remember, that's the point of the investigation. Who is relevant, who is not. You have to isolate all that. So they didn't even know if she was playing a role. So no, they wouldn't have told her. People can be upset about that all they want, but like I said, we do these things for a reason. Our court system is organized like this for a reason, to protect the integrity of the evidence. So no, she wasn't gonna know, and we knew she was gonna follow that suit. Yeah, they were never going to be informed any sooner than anybody else. And again, it's for all the same reasons. We don't want people changing their stories as they learn the evidence. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes witnesses speak. They shouldn't be speaking, but then the other witnesses start changing their stories accordingly, and that frustrates the trial.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, they did the right thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So there was that, just so people are aware. Now let me see. What else? Any other comments that anybody might have? I think that's the latest update that we have. Shit, there was something else I was gonna tell you, and I completely lost my.
Is it about Lexi? Tell me it's
No,
about
it's not
Lexi.
about like it's not that we know of. Somebody asked if he was harming animals. We don't know. Okay, the weapon.
Oh, the
You
weapon.
know, that's what I was gonna ask you. The weapon. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
it, or even we were talking earlier about the body parts too that were missing from what we
Yeah.
know is missing are the 2 fingers, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the weapon, I mean, do you think that they have a weapon? Do you think that they, as far as the evidence, that they know what weapon? Like that wasn't even discussed.
They may not. They may have found something in his house when they went the first time. They may have done. I don't actually know. They probably wouldn't have. They also don't need it. Let's actually just skip to that part. They don't necessarily need it. Remember that trials don't have to be scientific. Let me close this damn window. When the trials don't actually have to be scientific, they have to be legally sufficient. They need a legal showing that, in this case, a weapon was used. So think about this. If you witness somebody being shot from behind, the suspect runs away. The suspect runs away, throws away the weapon, but the cops catch him. In that case, the victim is the evidence that a weapon was used. You don't have to recover the weapon. It's better. They're still going to look for it, but they're really mainly going to rely on what puts this suspect at the scene of the crime, which will be you, the neutral witness. So here, they know a weapon was used on her. They have the autopsy. Have what is this? 100 seats, entrance, court area.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
someone
was
might-
yeah, no, this was earlier. Thank you, Mar. I'm so sorry I missed this. And actually, Mar messaged me about this, about the courthouse, and that there's a limit to the seats. But that was, yeah, sorry about that. And I'm like now looking at it. Go ahead.
So, in fact, let me give you an example about the importance of witness testimony, because for legal purposes, a witness statement is just as strong as video evidence. It's not scientific, but it is for courtroom purposes just as strong. That's the point of swearing or affirming that you are going to tell the truth. All your statements are treated as fact, just like photos, text statements, anything on video is treated as relevant fact until there's an objection being made. Did you see the Irish firefighter trial? Did you catch that one at all?
No.
Okay, so it was a mess. It actually, the incident took place years ago, and there were 2 trials. So he was found guilty in the second one, which is really iffy trial. So now what happened there? He, the defendant, was accused of going into a hotel where he was staying. Now this girl got picked up at a bar. She says he was the one that forced himself on top of her bed, and then he took off. Now let's try this. She misidentified 2 different men before this guy went to trial. This guy is about 6 inches taller than the other 2 guys she identified. Now we talk about what evidence was found at the hospital. None of her clothes identified any male DNA. Nothing, not a hair, not a shred, nothing. So scientifically, there was a lot of doubt about whether or not this man actually did anything. However, the juries are going to receive an instruction that the witness testimony is just as strong as DNA, just as strong as photographs, video. So if they follow that instruction, they could still reasonably conclude that he was guilty, even if the science isn't really there. So that's ultimately what happened there. Even though the science wasn't perfect, not all the physical evidence you expected was there, but you still have the witness testimony filling those gaps. So even though they don't have the weapon, that's not necessarily a done deal. I don't think he's going to walk for that reason alone. So far, I can't see a reason why he will walk. It's still early. All we know is there is a body. We now have a medical report, which, again, that's only used to prove that a death actually happened. The medical examiner can't say, you, David, you did this. That prejudices the trial. That evidence gets scrapped. The only thing the medical examiner does is explain the expert methodology that went into proving what happened to this body. It's basically, that's it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So when it comes down to the weapon, whether or not they have it, it would be better, but they don't need it. They know a weapon was used on her. Now, what it comes down to is proving whether or not David did it. And that's where I think they're going to, by process of elimination and through the grand jury proceedings, learn where all these witnesses were, what happened on certain days of interest. So we have April 23rd, 2025. That's one day of interest. Didn't the date May 5th come up at some point? Like, they think that might have been the day he did it.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's operate from that assumption. That is what they predict is the time and day that he dismembered the body. All right, so they want to know where everybody else was at that time. Are they lying about where they were at that time? And then they start hammering them at the investigation. And that's what they were going to do, is by process of elimination, try to figure out who was where at what time. They might actually be able to say David did act alone. But there might also be people they might have involuntarily helped. Let's say that we still don't even know how they did it. When you can involuntarily help for a crime. Let a friend borrow your car, but if your friend goes and robs a liquor store and somebody dies, you're in trouble. You see what I mean? So
Yes.
It could be stuff like that. People could have committed acts that we don't understand yet that would have helped him, let's say, dismember the body. So they have that involvement. They didn't know. Maybe let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they really, really didn't know, but they did something that helped him. Like, he goes to the Santa Barbara trip. We still don't know what the hell that is. Is that a place that he visited because he owns a place? Did he go to a friend's house, by example? You see what I mean? So let's say he goes to a friend's house and that's actually where he did it. But now, from an investigator standpoint, you let a guilty man into your house, dismember a body, and you want us to believe you didn't know anything. And then that's when people start getting nervous and talking. But that's all my guess right now at this point. Like I said, the evidence that we have is very, very limited. We have the charges. We have the charges, the medical exam. We now have a report of illegal images dating back to at least September 2023. And at least on that much, that's probably a done deal. So like I said, it's not a question of intent. It's a question of whether or not he did it.
So with the wiretapping, right? Because I'm thinking, there are people that are talking to him. It does make you wonder if any of these, like I said, I believe there was other people involved, and maybe that's where the deals might have come through. Like, so and so was caught on the phone with with David, and they were talking about this, or they were talking in code or whatever. Like, I wonder about that too, and I'm like, I just have a hard time believing, because he doesn't give me. Well, first of all, he's not very smart, right?
No,
if he did all this.
At this point, I honestly hope he testifies, because that would promise he will not win a fucking thing on appeal.
Yeah.
Now, you don't know what anyone can actually do on appeal until after a trial anyway, because appeals are based on the objections that are raised at trial.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not seeing any issues. And that's stuff they could figure out right now. But yeah, based on these charges, this evidence alone, like I said, just for the optics, you have this guy's committing it seems like he's committed every unforgivable felony that we have right now.
Yeah.
So, and that's just a test video. I'm actually about to scrap that. Okay. I'm gonna make something better soon. But anyway,
so break this down.
So
okay,
just because of the optics, I seriously think he's going to get convicted for that alone. The emotions are involved. It's a minor. Everything you could do wrong with a minor has happened to this one minor that we know of so far. We have not seen. And somebody asked earlier about amended charges. Yes, amended criminal complaints or superseding indictments, they can come until the day of trial, until the time the trial is announced. So yes, that's why I was also thinking he's probably not going to trial anytime soon. Because even though it seems like he's standing on his speedy trial right, that is one of those good cause exceptions that would prolong this, because the state needs more time. If this is all sufficiently related, then it has to go together. Otherwise, they have to make two separate trials.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So I'm gonna do this for celebrities. I'm showing your channel. You guys make sure you check for celebrities podcast out. I did just send you a private message because I don't have your email, and I'm like, it'd be nice to kind of have your email and hit you up. If something goes down or whatever, if you're available, because I don't want to just assume that you're available for whatever. And then of course, hopefully you'll be putting up this content on your channel so more people can go out there, maybe hear a different perspective. And I think for you, you're kind of coming at it on a more logical, not emotional. And I think that it's okay to listen to that. I think we have to,
Yeah,
because it'll
and
help
I
us,
understand
right?
why people. I see some shock in the crowd to some of my statements. I understand why people get that, but these laws are written for a reason. This is how we
Yeah.
separate the innocent from the guilty. The innocent and the
Yeah.
guilty have the same rights until you prove somebody's guilt.
Yeah.
Even something like this. Like, think about this: privacy is just as important to the guilty as it is to the innocent. So if we don't
Absolutely.
have these rules that we're depending on right now, then we don't even have privacy. We don't have any other constitutional rights to speech and other individual thoughts.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Somebody
stand by
said
it the way
you
I
need
do.
to put. Someone said you need to post videos. Period.
I like all of you. So, all right. So are
Get to
you
going.
wrapping up?
I am wrapping up. I want to do some shout outs, but yes, I am wrapping up. Thank you so much.
All right.
I
Have a good
appreciate
one.
you, Joe. All right, take care. Thank you, guys. Make sure you guys check out First Liberties podcast. Also check out Sylvia, who was out there. She wasn't able to get in, but shout out to her, man. It's just it's a simple, opportunity for her to just, give us the information. She's out there and doing her thing. Shout out to her. I want to give some shout outs because I'm definitely behind. I do apologize on the super chats. Let me go do that right now, you guys. I apologize for not reading these out, but sometimes when we go. I will read them before I leave. That is my goal. So shout out to Tasha for becoming a member. Shout out to her. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Ace, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Thank you. Thank you. Mar, thank you again for this $4.99. First Liberties did answer this question. Thank you, Mar. And thank you so much for this. 5, you said, my brother says that they are about 100 seats set up above the interest. So shout out to Mar. I did get your email and I didn't respond fast enough. Like I said, we always got people that either are connected or work at the courthouse or know somebody or they're lawyers or they're, professionals. And that's why it's important to, peek out your community because you never know who's connected to what. Thank you, Mar, for this. You said my brother says that they had about 100 seats set up above the entrance to the court area and the courtyard for media. Someone might speak after the hearing. Thank you so much. Also, for the content creators that are out there, get your media passes. They do background checks. You have to file something. If you're out there and if you want to get in the courthouse, it might be good to just do the process. It doesn't take that long. So I do plan to do that at some point because I do plan to go down there. Deb, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you, Deb. Thank you. Thank you. Fly and Wordy. We got to get Pinche Becky a shirt mic. I'll definitely, I don't know what kind of device you use this, but a shirt mic is one that will allow you to, it doesn't have to be a very expensive one, but one that can capture your voice and it's easier for her to set up. So we definitely going to do that. Y'all should have given this to her, but I'm going to send it to her. Thank you so much. Thank you, PH. Thank you. For Becky, Pinche Becky. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Live Nicole. Thank you. We love you, Rabbit. You're amazing. And so is your community. We have an amazing community. Shout out to our community. Thank you. Thank you, love. Deb, I believe you upgraded your membership. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Foxy says, el gorrito sucio está acabado. El gorrito sucio? I don't get it. Thank you, Foxy. The dirty hat? No. YFN Wooly, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Thank you. Thank you. Hold up. I'm going to read James' jokes at the end. Lexi, thank you. Did Celeste die while D4VD was under investigation and wiretap surveillance by LAPD? Because if that's the way, LAPD is at fault as well. I don't know if that's what happened. I don't think that's what happened. But thank you so much for this $4.99. I mean, I don't think so. I think that her death was before the LAPD got involved. That's what it sounds like. James, thank you so much. Our resident comedian. A vegan just said to me, people who sell meat are disgusting. I said people who sell fruit and vegetables are grosser. Grosser. Oh, that's cute. Thank you, James. Shout out to James. James says, what's an Italian favorite party game? Pasta parcel. Thank you so much. James, shout out to James who keeps it light in the chat because we be covering some like, oh, no. heavy topics. So thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Shout out to James. Shout out to everybody. Thank you for those that supported the stream. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the people that send a Cash App, because that is really appreciated. I mean, I'd be getting my chimichanga. So thank you so much. That really does help me. Mel C, thank you. I'm going to drop the Discord for the channel in the community wall for the members only, so you guys can go connect. I did get some emails out about that. So I'm going to do that as, by the end of the stream. Shout out to everybody. You guys are amazing. Thank you again for supporting the channel. Thank you. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.